their destinations. DeKalb County Police will soon have more eyes on the community with a new public safety initiative.
It's called Digital Shield, and Interim Police Chief Greg Padrick tells county commissioners it includes the addition of more technology at key locations.
We'll bring our total of license plate recognition cameras up to 271 countywide.
And drones that can fly as far as 3.5 miles.
Very similar to having extra helicopters, what these drones are able to do for us.
All of the data can be shared with DeKalb's Real-Time Crime Center, improving response times. The county's investing nearly $19 million in the technology. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
It's 9:02 and happening today. President Trump is expected to sign a deal that will allow TikTok to continue operating here in the U.S. Congress voted last year to ban the video sharing app for national security reasons unless it sold its U.S. operations. Under the terms of the deal, the app's U.S. operations will be run by a new company, and TikTok's current owner, China-based ByteDance, will hold under 20% of the stock. Also today, Sean Diddy Combs is expected back in court for a hearing ahead of his sentencing in a sex trafficking case next week. The rapper's lawyers are pushing for no more than a 14-month sentence, which, if approved, would have Diddy released on time already served. The music mogul is scheduled to be sentenced on October 3rd. He's facing up to 10 years in prison after being convicted on lesser charges of prostitution-related charges, that is. We are less than a week away from the Social Security Administration ending the practice of mailing physical checks to beneficiaries.
If you are still receiving Social Security payments by check through the mail, now is the time to act, because a September 30th deadline is looming to make the change to getting those benefits electronically. WSB consumer expert Clark Howard says the change is actually a good thing.
The method of paying by check or receiving a payment by check is so filled with risk and fraud.
Clark says a very small percentage of recipients do still rely on paper checks. For older recipients, he encourages friends and family members to help them make the switch. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
It is 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. First, though, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Triple Team Traffic begins with Smilin' Mark McKay.
All right, Cheryl, still watching a travel advisory. These delays between Duluth and Swanee really picking up. May want to use Satellite Boulevard because the slowing begins at Old Peachtree, heading north toward Lawrenceville Swanee Road, exit 111, where 2 right lanes are still lost. Still seeing a crowd 85 southbound at Pleasant Hill Road. 400 easing up, although it is pretty tight from Haynesbridge down to Holcomb Bridge on 400 south. No big hassles on 75 or 575, but Canton Road's been a hassle as you roll southbound on Canton Road southbound, working away toward Hawkins Store. We see the southbound lanes are blocked, traffic being put into a parking lot there. What do you see rolling into Midtown, downtown Atlanta now, Ashley Frasca?
That crowd still beginning before University Avenue, headed north on the connector 75-85 up to Freedom Parkway 85 south. You're in the brake lights from Brookhaven, beginning at North Druid Hills. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today with scattered rain showers and a few thunderstorms, high 81. Scattered rain showers continue for tonight, lows in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, rain and thunderstorms moving through, high 79. Drying out on Saturday with highs in the low 80s.
And right now, cloudy, 73 degrees in Stonecrest, at 72 in Mableton, 71 degrees in Milton. It's 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
In showbiz, they say it's all about the lead-in. How about Cheryl Castro leading into the Mark Arum Show today? Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, everyone. We've got a massively big show for you. Coming up in 30 minutes, got some new poll numbers on the Democratic side of the governor's race. Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution is going to break them down for us. Coming up in 1 hour, we're going to go live to D.C. Willie James Inman from CBS on 2 big stories. We're looking at a September 30th deadline for a possible government shutdown. Willie will break that down for us, plus the very latest between the United States, Russia, and Ukraine. Some major movement there. Travel expert Peter Greenberg at 10:35, and Deborah, I don't know how you did it, 10:50, Michael Chiklis is going to join us. The actor, he's been in so many, you know him too, folks, even if you don't know the name, the bald dude who's just a badass in everything he does. Very excited to be talking to Michael Chiklis. And, of course, it's a 5K day bonus blitz. So in a little over an hour, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 just for listening to 95.5 WSB. I want to kick off with a story that we broke during yesterday's show, that ICE shooting in Texas. Joining us in Texas from ABC News, it's our buddy Jim Ryan. Jim, good morning. I guess I want to start off with what we know about the victims in yesterday's ICE shooting.
Well, not a lot still. We know that one was killed, 2 others were wounded. These were detainees, people being held at the ICE facility, at least in a short term, at the ICE facility in Dallas. They were inside a transfer van. In fact, when shots started raining down on top of the facility and into the van, 1 person was killed, 2 were wounded critically. The Mexican consulate says one of those wounded is from Mexico, and that's about all we know about them. We don't have any identities on any of those people. We do know that the shooter took his own life as police were closing in on him, Mark.
Yeah, when I saw that the 2 of the shooting victims, one unfortunately fatal, was an ICE detainee, I might have jumped to conclusions. I was like, oh, the motive of the shooter was, oh, I don't like these illegal immigrants here, but apparently that might not be the case. ICE agents found an unspent shell from the shooter that had anti-ICE scrawled on its side. Does that point us into a direction of possible motive?
Well, yeah, it certainly does. It points the FBI director, Kash Patel, in that direction. He posted that image on X a couple of hours after the shooting. The witnesses there say the person was shooting indiscriminately with a high-powered rifle from about 500 feet away from a rooftop into that ICE facility. So the bullets were flying everywhere, and the shooter, while he may have been targeting ICE agents, didn't hit any ICE agents. Instead, he hit 3 migrants who were waiting in this van to be transferred somewhere. So I think the assumption, based on the evidence, including that unspent shell, is that this was targeting ICE. The effect, though, was that 3 detainees were shot. 1 of them killed, Mark.
Yeah, and this another rooftop shooting right not too long after the Charlie Kirk assassination. But this isn't an isolated incident when it comes to violence toward ICE and ICE facilities and ICE officers.
Including in this area specifically. Just a few months ago, about a month ago, a man walked up to that same ICE office in Dallas, and he had a backpack on. He said that he had a detonator on his wrist and that he was carrying a bomb. He was searched, he was arrested, and there was no bomb on his person. It's still not clear what he was doing, why he was doing this. A few months ago, at an ICE detention facility south of Fort Worth, about 40 miles from the incident yesterday, there was an ambush-style attack, and a local police officer was shot in the neck. So you're right. This isn't an isolated incident related to one ICE facility. We're seeing this at different facilities around the country and in this region specifically, Mark.
Jim Ryan from ABC joining us here on the Mark Arum Show in Texas, updating the deadly ICE shooting yesterday. The ICE, this all falls under the Department of Homeland Security. Have we heard from Kristi Noem at all on this development?
Yeah, and she yesterday posted as well at about the same time that the FBI director did, that this appeared to be a targeted incident targeting ICE agents. And she again issued a call for an end to political violence of this sort and the kind that killed Charlie Kirk as well. So, yeah, DHS has talked about it. FBI has discussed this. There was some sort of miscommunication or some mix-up yesterday. We were told that 2 people had been killed and 1 was wounded inside that detention bus. They backed off later. DHS did, the Department of Homeland Security, and said that it was only 1 shot, 1 killed and 2 wounded. So not sure how that miscommunication happened, but there was kind of a bungling of the numbers there.
Yeah, the second dead, I should mention, on this Thursday morning is the shooter, right? Died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, we've been told.
Right. Initially, they said 2 detainees had been killed along with the shooter taking his own life. But now they backed down. 1 detainee dead. The shooter took his own life as the police were closing in. They figured out where the shots were coming from. They got onto that roof, and as they were approaching him, investigators say he took his own life.
Jim, as always, appreciate the update. Have a great day, my friend.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
Again, any new updates on that ICE shooting yesterday in Texas, we'll bring them to you live here on 95.5 WSB. Deborah, is see something, say something still a thing that people do?
I think so.
All right, so I think we've got a new category in see something, say something. So we had the Charlie Kirk assassin, now this ICE shooter. If you see anyone you know drawing on bullets, you need to say something. Right, that's the new thing now. Right, with the Charlie Kirk assassin, he wrote on all his shell casings, and this ICE shooter wrote, on his. That should fall into the category: see something, say something. If you go home and your kid's got a Sharpie out and he's writing on bullets, it's time to step in. I don't know why that's a thing now.
Yeah, I think that was the case in the Minnesota shooting too, wasn't
Yes,
it?
exactly right. Yeah.
I think it's just something that goes around on social. They're all influenced by other things that they see, and maybe, that's the thing that they feel like they need to do.
Yeah, so in addition to seeing if your friends, families, loved ones, coworkers are buying an inordinate amount of guns and bullets, see if they're out looking for Sharpies too, to write on bullets, because that's a trend now. Now, I again, we don't know the motive yet on this, but wouldn't it be dastardly, and not just this case, but any case, if someone conducts a mass shooting and then they purposely lead investigators astray by writing something on their shell casings that is antithetical to what they believe? Like just blaming someone else so they get the... especially when you kill yourself after it, like, they're going to think I don't like ice, but I actually do like, I mean, I don't know, just crazy. But anyway, if you see someone writing on bullets, say something, because that is apparently an indicator now that they are going to go conduct some sort of evil act. But again, if we get any updates on that ICE shooting in Texas yesterday, we'll bring it to you. Back locally in Georgia, knock on wood, no political shootings here. But great news when it comes to business. Georgia ranks as the #1 state in the union for business, Deborah.
Yeah, Georgia got the #1 spot for State for Business by Area Development Magazine, and Government Kemp said this was a reflection of sustained commitment, that we have an excellence. Now, Georgia ranked top 5 in 10 out of the 15 categories. So these are business incentives, logistics, infrastructure, workforce training, and Georgia's been on this list for the past 12 years. Not always #1, but always in the top 10.
Interesting. Does it say? Do you have the full list by any chance? I just want to see who we're competing with. Like,
I could try to find it. Let's see.
That's okay. But that's, amazing. I think we're kind of spoiled when it comes to we were shielded economically for the most part during COVID. We've been shielded during recessions and economic downturns. Like, we are always here in Georgia, as far as an economic engine, like stronger than our counterparts across the union. So
I can give you the top 5 here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, #5 is Ohio.
Okay.
#4, North Carolina. #3, Texas. #2, South Carolina. And #1, Georgia.
Yeah.
So the South.
All right. Feather in your cap there, Georgia business owners, whether you own a mom and pop store or an empanada palace or a tool and die shop. Good stuff. More economic news today. The GDP is booming, apparently. The U.S. economy hit the accelerator in the second quarter. CBS business reporter Jason Brooks has more.
Expected, with the government revising second quarter GDP higher to 3.8% from 3.3%. A big surprise for the market, which expected the numbers to remain steady. The increase in GDP is credited to lower imports and stronger consumer spending, helping offset weaker investment activity. In addition to that, orders for big-ticket items like appliances and electronics unexpectedly rose 2.9% in August, rebounding from a decline the previous month.
All right, so good news on the economic front. Another good economic indicator just popped this morning. A positive sign in the housing market, right, Deborah? We were talking about the housing market yesterday. The latest government report says new home sales last month jumped 20% compared to July. That's a bigger increase than expected. Also, a 3-year high. Falling mortgage rates are an inducement to buy, but the question is, according to CBS's Jill Schlesinger, are rates falling to a level that is persuasive for homeowners to finally sell?
Mortgage rates were at almost 8% 2 years ago, 7% earlier this year. Now we're at about 6.25%. We have a new survey from Bankrate that said 5% is sort of the magic number, because 5% is the mortgage rate for a 30-year loan where more buyers could jump in and feel more affordable. But with a seller, imagine you're a seller, you're busting at the seams, you're a young family, you want to trade up, but you've got a 3% loan. At 5%, you might be much more willing to list your home.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks have been sitting, they want to move, but they got that 3% mortgage rate, and they're like, why am I going to give that up right now? It cost me tens of thousands of dollars over the life of the mortgage. So two good economic stories there. Home sales are up, GDP is up. The markets, you would think, would be up, but the futures are still down. Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P. We'll see when the markets open at 9:30 if that changes, but a couple of good positive economic stories there. 3 of them here in Georgia, GDP and housing sales numbers. So good economic news on a Thursday. When we come back, we're going to update our top local stories. Right now, however, we got some delays up Swanee Way. Let's say hello and good morning to Smiler Mark McKay.
Hello, Mark. A crash that we've been watching on the Jam Cam now for almost an hour continues to take out the right lane. 85 northbound at Lawrenceville Swanee Road, exit 111. The delays on 85 leaving Duluth begin at Duluth Highway. Satellite Boulevard is always an escape route for you heading north toward Swanee and the Mall of Georgia. 85 southbound still slow at Pleasant Hill Road inside the perimeter, easing those delays into Midtown Atlanta with only a tap of the brakes now below North Druid Hills. Your 400 slowing between Alfred and Roswell, now concentrated in Roswell. Just a little slow on the approach to Holcomb Road, exit 7. This report sponsored by the International Hot Rod Association. International Hot Rod Association and Duran Hybrid, where the roar of the engine meets the torque of the wrench, building champions on the track and of the trades. Get your tickets at IHRA.com. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
Alabama is coming into Athens to battle the Bulldogs.
I'll tell you, it's been a great matchup.
Tune in Saturday as number 5 Georgia faces off with the 17th-ranked Crimson Tide.
Their quarterback is hot. He's hot as a firecracker.
Catch all the pregame coverage starting Saturday at 3:30.
They're playing really well this year.
Only on your home of the Dogs, 95.5 WSB. Brought to you in part by Hoffman Financial Group, official partner of the Georgia Bulldogs.
They say nothing is certain in life except death and taxes, but here in Georgia, I want you to go ahead and add roaches to that list. They're everywhere. Can't avoid them, but you can protect your home and family from those nasty bugs. Mark Aram here for Breda Pest Management, the only folks I trust to get rid of roaches in my home. Did you notice I said in my home? Of course, it's the roaches inside that you want gone. That's why it's so ridiculous to me that many companies have stopped going inside homes. That's just an industry trick to save them time and money while leaving your home at risk. And they raise their prices, doing less and charging more. You better call Breda, friends. Breda's got your back, protecting the outside and inside of your home. Breda Pest Management, they handle bugs and critters like those disgusting roaches. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs. I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. Mm-hmm. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell, and for over a decade, I've trusted America's Best Choice for windows, doors, siding, and decks.
That's right, Dale. When the summer is hot, America's Best Choice will keep your home cool with premium energy-efficient windows starting at just $299. No pressure, no gimmicks. Go to abcwind.com to schedule a free in-home estimate today. America's Best Choice. Quality you can trust, prices you can afford.
Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. I am the unknown fourth member of the Beastie Boys. I don't know if you knew that or not. Coming back to sabotage, that's what President Trump's calling what happened at the UN to him, a, quote, triple sabotage, Deborah. We had three separate things that happened to President Trump at the UN, either before, after, or during his speech. First, I didn't even know about this. He was riding the escalator up the UN. Have you ever been to the UN in New York, Deborah?
I have not.
It's awesome. And Pamela Falk has invited us to go up and visit. Anyway, we used to go there on school field trips. So I know the elevator he's talking about. Apparently, the elevator he was taking up to go to the main auditorium where he was delivering his speech, the General Assembly, not the auditorium. It's not a middle school. It stopped, like in the middle of, and he and Melania and some other folks had to walk up the escalator. Stuff like that happens, and if you think that's a one-off, then you don't think anything of it. And then we talked about this yesterday, Deborah. At the start of his speech, his teleprompter wasn't working, right? And he had to like freeball it for a little bit, and then the teleprompter started working. That was the second sabotage. And then thirdly, President Trump claims that the audio that was he was inside the General Assembly was quite lower than the other speakers. And he thought, they intentionally turned it down. And I think we had a reporter on yesterday, I think it was Pamela Falk, said the translation was Portuguese at first for everybody. Do you remember her? Yeah. So anyway, he's calling it a triple sabotage. He wants an investigation. He thinks something's nefarious. The UN has responded, said, yes, we'll investigate this and we'll let you know. We'll coordinate the investigation with the proper authorities and the Trump administration. But I've seen two, I can't speak to the speakers, the low volume on the speakers in the General Assembly, but I have seen reports that the escalator was actually accidentally turned off by a White House photographer. That I guess, you see there's a gaggle of reporters that follow President Trump, and somehow one of the White House photographers actually hit the kill switch, like to turn off the escalator. I just assume that's an old building. It's probably an old escalator. So that there might be a reason for that. And the teleprompter, I'm told, was being run by White House staff. Like it was their job to run the teleprompter for President Trump, which makes sense, right? They're familiar with the speech. They know when to. And so it wasn't any with the UN. But again, anyway, I just love the fact that he's calling it triple sabotage. It gave us an excuse to pay sabotage from the Beastie Boys. Speaking of President Trump, sources now tell ABC News that President's choice to take over the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Virginia is preparing to bring criminal charges against former FBI head James Comey. He's been accused of lying to Congress in testimony 5 years ago. Mary Bruce is ABC News chief White House correspondent.
Trump has been adamant, just days ago directing his Attorney General Pam Bondi to go after Comey, calling him guilty, adding nothing is being done, and we can't delay any longer.
They should be judged, and we have to do it now.
Sources say the president forced out his own appointed U.S. attorney for Eastern Virginia, whose office had been investigating Comey for 3 months, replacing him with one of his personal lawyers, Lindsay Halligan, saying Halligan would get things things moving.
So apparently the allegation concerns testimony that Comey gave to Congress. That happened just under 5 years ago. There's a 5-year statute of limitations on that charge. The 5-year mark ends Tuesday of next week. So if charges are going to be filed by the DOJ against the former FBI director, they've got to file them before Tuesday. Otherwise, the statute of limitations runs up and Comey can't be charged for anything in that congressional hearing. Now, I don't know if there's other accusations, but I believe the president wants to prosecute Comey for lying to Congress while under oath. But again, that 5-year statute of limitation ends on Tuesday. So that could be a very big story that develops over the weekend. Is there enough time for that new district attorney to file charges against the former FBI director before that Tuesday deadline? So one big story we'll be monitoring throughout the weekend here on 95.5 WSB. All right, Cheryl's got your news, weather, and traffic in under 3. When we come back, updating the governor's race here in Georgia, new Democratic internal polls shows a pretty heavy front runner. Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution is going to tell us the numbers and see what it all means in relationship to the governor's race. He's coming up after news, weather, and traffic. Social media is active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum, at WSB Radio.
Now, it's your time to make more money and be your own boss. Come to the Franchise Show on October 4th and 5th at the Gas South Convention Center to meet with the best money-making franchises. Learn how you can open a successful business. This life-changing event is your only chance to see all the hottest money-making opportunities in one place. Find the perfect business for you at the Franchise Show, presented by the Entrepreneur's Source, October 4th and 5th at the Gas South Convention Center. Get tickets at atlantafranchiseshow.com.
My name is Maria. Okay, I lied, it's Mary. But I'm feeling more European after my European-style holiday on MSC Cruises. The ristoranti, restaurants, nightlife and shops in La Galleria, and of course, American touches, like a sports bar and water slides. Bellissimo. Okay, this is a problem.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sale free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Allow me to brag for a second. Over the weekend, I defeated not one, but 2 of my bosses in fantasy football. Sorry, Ken. Sorry, Chris. Now, I'm sure they're football aficionados, but you can't consider yourself to be a football aficionado unless your home is equipped with Xfinity. That's what I have at my house, and it really enhances your fandom. If you call yourself a football fan, you got to have Xfinity. I've got all the best games all in one place, plus enhanced 4K, so it feels like I am actually in the stadium. And don't get me started with the Xfinity Sports app. In-game stats, highlights, analysis. If you are a true football fan, you make sure you up your game from my friends at Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com or drop into Xfinity store today where the Wi-Fi is booming. Some restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Online at Xfinity.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
And good morning to you. It's 9:30. I'm Cheryl Castro. News brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Our top story, it is new this morning, a dramatic jump in U.S. economic growth. The Commerce Department says the economy grew at a faster than expected rate of 3.8% during the second quarter.
Consumers are in solid shape, most of them, and they are continuing to increase their spending despite concerns about tariffs and inflation.
And PNC Chief Economist Gus Foucher says consumer spending rose 2.5%. Gross domestic product rebounded from a 0.6% drop during the first quarter. Meanwhile, new numbers from the Georgia Department of Labor says the employment rate in Metro Atlanta is 3.5% in August. That is unchanged from July. A year ago, the rate was 3.9%. Local government saw the biggest gains, while the arts, entertainment, and recreation sectors saw the biggest monthly job losses. Well, the White House tells federal agencies to prepare for mass layoffs ahead of a possible government shutdown next week.
CBS News has obtained a memo from the White House Budget Office that tells agencies to consider reduction in force notices if no spending bill is passed by Tuesday's deadline. Democrats are demanding a rollback of Medicaid cuts and an extension of health insurance tax credits.
Michael Wallace reports agencies usually furlough workers during shutdowns, not lay them off permanently. It's 9:31. Closing arguments come this morning in Fulton County, where an alleged gang member is charged with the murder in the July 2020 death of 8-year-old Sequoia Turner. Julian Conley's defense called one witness, a woman who says men in black shot at the Jeep that night, not Conley.
And I'm so sorry for her loss. That was not what we was out there for, and that wasn't supposed to happen.
Prosecutors point out that the woman was looking at a second barricade up the street from where Conley was standing, and muzzle flashes were seen. And the defense says her description does not fit Conley, who was wearing a red shirt that night. 2 men are in custody, and more arrests could come in connection to the shooting death of a 9-month-old in Cobb County.
22-year-old Ladarius Brown is facing several charges, including aggravated assault, felony murder, and possession of a firearm during a felony in connection to the shooting death of a 9-month-old baby girl at a motel near Truist Park Tuesday night. The child's mother calling authorities to report that her baby had been shot. The girl dies at the scene. Authorities say the shooting happened during an altercation. Brown is being held at the Cobb County Jail without bond. Another suspect also in custody, facing charges of evidence tampering. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
New property tax bills are going out to some residents in Gwinnett County after an error is discovered.
It impacts a small group of taxpayers. The Gwinnett County Tax Commissioner says it's because of a programming issue with one of its vendors. The county says some 2025 tax bills did not include a value offset exemption, which prevents the county portion of the bill from going up with property values. An internal audit of all bills finds the mistake only affects about 0.1% of property tax bills. Those receiving corrected bills will have their due dates extended by 60 days. Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
And coffee giant Starbucks announces this morning plans to close underperforming shops and cut 900 jobs amid a major restructuring plan. The cuts are in the company's support teams. Many open positions will also be closed. About 400 stores will be shuttered. It's 9:33. Time to check traffic and weather as we turn to Smilin' Mark McKay, now live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Thanks, Cheryl. Still seeing delays into the heart of downtown on the connector northbound. Live look at the jam cam shows sluggish conditions on 7585 north leaving University Avenue, breaking free at John Lewis Freedom Parkway, and still a bit slow as you roll 75 southbound at Northside Drive, 85 leaving 400 pointed towards 17th Street and Georgia Tech. Still have a pretty good slow zone between Duluth and Suwanee, impacted by this crash that remains in a right lane for over an hour now. I-85 northbound before Lawrenceville Suwanee Road exit 111. You can get around those outbound delays by using Satellite Boulevard. Smiley Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and a few rumbles of thunder today. High 81. Rain showers continue for tonight with lows in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, rain and thunderstorms rolling through. High 79. Drying out on Saturday with partly cloudy skies. High 83.
And right now, 73 degrees in Kennesaw, 75 in McDonough. Noonan, you're at 73. More news at 10 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news.
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
Oh my God! The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 10 a.m.
It was weird when I heard this morning that it was in Dallas, and then that's close enough, and then to come to find out it's 3 doors down from where I'm working.
That's Joe Monroe, was 3 doors down from that ICE shooting. Still to come, the latest on that. Next, though, we got some new political poll numbers in the race for governor here in Georgia. Greg Bluestein live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
Give your home a breath of fresh air with help from Zero Res Air Duct Cleaning. Mention WSB and get up to $75 off your next air duct cleaning. Ask about Zero Res commercial cleaning too. Schedule online at ZeroResAtlanta.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Two homes, same street, practically twins. One sells fast for top dollar. The other still sitting around like it forgot to shower. So what happened? Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler. Well, the first seller went old school. Traditional agent, endless showings, price drops, emotional roller coaster, and eventually they settled for less. The second seller, they used Orchard. Now, Orchard doesn't just list your home, they work it. Their agent knew what upgrades would catch a buyer's eye, brought in pros to handle everything, and made that house look like it belonged in a real estate magazine. And the best part? With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, that seller packed up and moved out before a single stranger walked through their old front door. No showings, no stress, no, hey, can you hide the cat and vacuum cleaner again? Just top dollar and a smoother move. Want in? Start with a free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
Happy 45th birthday, Atlanta native rapper T.I. turns 45 years old today. Deborah, we've never had T.I. on the show.
We have not.
But I met him at the Benihana in Buckhead years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, T.I. He's like, hey, dude, what's up? No idea who it was. Vinny, you're in the music scene. T.I., you ever meet Mr. T.I.?
I have not met T.I. I've met Killer Mike, though.
All right. Well, remind me that on Killer Mike's birthday.
Heard.
You've done it. Jordan, oh, by the way, right after the 10 o'clock news, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Chance for you in $1,000 here on the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB. Let's get into some new political news when it comes to governor's race here in the state of Georgia. Joining us live from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, our buddy Greg Bluestein. Greg, Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy Rosh Hashanah. I thought I was going to get some T.I. questions, but I'll take
Have you ever met T.I., Greg? I'll ask you.
You know, I've covered him before. I don't think I've ever actually met him, but Usher went to North Springs High School with me, so
Ursher.
Go Spartans.
Ursher. Now, if you called him up, would he remember Bluestein from high school, or would be like, who?
Never.
No,
not at all.
no
But
chance.
that's okay.
Greg got some new internal polling from the Keisha Lance Bottoms campaign. Seems like it's all apples and honey for them right now.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, you know, you should always take these internal polls with a grain of salt. Because they're coming from the campaigns and they have no reason to promote them if they weren't good news. But at the same time, this comes from a respected pollster, and it kind of lines up with what other candidates and campaigns are thinking, which is Keisha Lance Bottoms, the former Atlanta mayor, has a leg up early in this race. She's kind of about 38% in this poll right now, in this internal poll done by Public Policy Polling. That is higher than all the other named candidates combined, way above Democratic former DeKalb CEO Michael Thurmond and former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, the Republican turned Democrat who just got in the race, and former State Senator Jason Estevez. It's very early, but it shows kind of that Keisha Lance Bottoms is in the poll position right now.
Yeah, for the listeners, so this is a poll of 620 likely Democratic primary voters. Keisha Lance Bottoms leading the field with 38%. Former DeKalb CEO Michael Thurmond, 12%. Former Republican Lieutenant Governor, now Democrat, Jeff Duncan at 9%. And former State Senator Jason Estevez at 4%. A couple of these numbers shocked me. I was shocked that Bottoms led by that amount, even with the name recognition that she had. And I was kind of shocked that Jason Estevez is bringing up the rear at 4%.
Yeah, you know, he got in early to try to gain some traction, try to raise a lot of money. He still hasn't spent a lot of that money right now. He has a real campaign going. So, you know, he's been out there trying to work the crowds, build a network, has a lot of endorsements already. But there's still a lot of folks who just, especially outside of Atlanta, who don't know who he is. He's got time to change that. But this race has gotten a lot more crowded. Just in the last 2 weeks. And, you look on the Republican side, Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, he got in. Of course, Jeff Duncan, you just mentioned, got in. We could see some more candidates get in the coming days. So it's going to be harder to get attention.
Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Candidates that might be on the outside looking in may jump into the race. Obviously, Stacey Abrams' name has been floated out there for months. But in your reporting on AJC.com, I didn't have this on my radar. State Rep Ruha Rahman, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, Ruha Rahman, yeah.
Of Duluth, she might be expected to enter the race. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, she recently wrote a column for the AJC kind of saying how Georgia needs a candidate who's more progressive, who could almost be like Mamdani, the New York Democratic mayoral candidate, who has kind of ignited the progressive left, but also alienated a lot of folks in the middle of the electorate and, of course, on the right of the electorate. She could kind of present herself as the populist, left-leaning candidate. She thinks that, and she said this, as much in her column, she thinks that some of the Democratic candidates already in the race aren't representing that sort of left flank. And I'm kind of thinking, Michael Thurmond, who of course is a longtime Democratic office holder, proud Democrat, but he's running more of a centrist campaign right now. He's kind of taking some ideas from Donald Trump even.
Yeah, and I would say probably the same goes for Jeff Duncan, more toward the center of the party. If she does enter, if the state rep does enter, she would probably be the most left-leaning candidate thus far.
Yeah, at least one with prominence, right, with political background, who folks might know her name. She would face the same struggles that Jason Estevez would have, though. She's running against folks who have statewide name recognition, and not just Mayor Bottoms, but Jeff Duncan. As he gets his campaign out there, he'll get more attention. And of course, Michael Thurmond has won statewide races before as labor commissioner, and he's won multiple times in DeKalb County, which is the most important Democratic stronghold in Georgia. So there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lane for everyone, it seems.
And again, this is a poll released, an internal campaign poll, but as you mentioned, Greg, from a legitimate polling outfit. But the Bottoms number was higher than I expected, simply because, and I think maybe this is just the shadow of being in the metro Atlanta area, leaving office, not running for re-election, going to work for a controversial Biden administration. As we look back on it now, what was his cognitive abilities? I thought that might drag her poll numbers down here in Georgia.
Yeah, it's your classic double-edged sword, right? To a lot of voters, it does. It's a negative. The fact that she decided not to run for a second term. There was a very tumultuous first term in 2020 with the pandemic, with the protests for social justice. All that went along with that. At the same time, it gave her incredibly high name recognition. She went toe-to-toe with Governor Kemp, throughout her term. It was all over CNN as a paid contributor, a paid analyst for a while. And then, of course, she wasn't just part of President Biden's administration. I feel like she was part of his inner circle. She was one of his most trusted advisors. So that comes with its benefits and its negatives.
Final question for you, Greg. When are we going to see real polls, AJC polls, UGA polls, that kind of stuff? When do those start coming out?
Yeah, within a few weeks. We're going to be out in the field shortly, and so I know that the AJC will have a UGA poll, hopefully within a few weeks. But I think you're going to see the polling industry kind of ramp up because, not just in Georgia, but we have one of the most interesting elections in the nation.
Yeah, indeed. Very exciting times here in the state of Georgia. Greg Bluestein, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Greg, as always, appreciate your time, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me.
There you go. Breaking political news here on the Mark Arum Show. Good stuff there from Greg. You read his stuff online at ajc.com, and he's on socials, just at Bluestein. He just grabbed that name. He said, "This is mine. Sticking my flag in it. It's Bluestein." So Greg is an invaluable resource. Make sure you give him a follow. All right, joining us now, correspondent Rory O'Neill. Rory, it seems like in the last couple of months I've been talking an inordinate amount about hot-button issues like the First Amendment, economy, vaccines. My pals from Connecticut, Quinnipiac University, out with a new national survey. Let me do this. survey says what, Rory?
Right. This is the poll we get near the end of every month, and it's good to look at because you can see the trend on some of the issues, especially as it relates to the job performance of the president. So that you can track. By the way, that number's about flat. His highest score is in handling immigration. But there is also some hot-button issues that are included in the monthly survey, and they focus really on the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the political crisis that it may have created, and also issues of freedom of speech, like we've seen with the Jimmy Kimmel show. Right now, 79% of voters tell Quinnipiac that we are in a political crisis right now. 93% of Democrats feel that way. 60% of Republicans do as well. And 71% now think politically motivated violence in the U.S. is a very serious problem.
What was that number that thinks political violence is a serious problem?
71%.
Wow. Okay. Obviously top of mind with what we've seen, especially the Charlie Kirk assassination. That's some staggering numbers. 79% think we're in a political crisis in the country, and political violence, 71%. Those are big numbers, Rory.
Yeah, and 82%, and you find 82% of 82 of 100 people to agree on something, but 82% think the way we talk to each other about politics these days is actually contributing to that violence. And 53% of voters think that the system of democracy we have right now is not working. That same percentage don't think that freedom of speech is going to be around much longer.
That democracy number, is that broken down by party affiliation by any chance?
It is. So 74% of Democrats think that the current system of democracy is not working. 61% of independents think that way. 74% of Republicans think that democracy as we have it here is working correct.
That tracks. Correspondent Rory O'Neill joining us here in the Mark Arum Show. What about vaccines in the economy? Any new numbers there?
Yeah, on the economy, they asked, here are 4 different issues. What do you think are some of the top issues economically facing your household? 53% said the price of food and consumer goods is the top economic issue. 28% said the cost of housing. Only 8% said the job situation. 7% said the stock market. And 42% of voters say they have cut spending on non-essential items compared to 1 year ago. So it's bad when consumers are starting to pull back. 2/3 of voters think that they support vaccine requirements for children attending public schools. We've seen states like Florida try to drop the vaccine requirements at schools. And when it comes to RFK Jr. and his performance, only 1/3 of voters, 33% of the way, approve of the way RFK Jr. is doing the job.
Wow, that's pretty low. I like the 66% number, showing that a majority of Americans still favor vaccine mandates for public school children. One more question, Roy. That 33% approval for RFK Jr. and his role, is that also broken down by party affiliation, or is that just a straight line number?
No, that's one is just a straight line number, but it does compare, back in June when Quinnipiac asked this question, 38% approved. So it's gone from 38 in June down to 33 now.
All right, 99% of Americans think Rory O'Neill is amazing, and I am one of them. Rory, great stuff as always, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thanks. That 1% are relatives. Thanks, Mark.
Awesome, buddy. 9:49 on the Mark Arum Show. Reminder, a little bit after the 10 o'clock news, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for you in $1,000 here on WSB Radio. Plan around 10:12. Around 10:12, I'll give you that keyword. Right now, we're going to give you the traffic advice you need, including trying to avoid construction delays on 75 in Kennesaw, Mark McKay.
Yeah, the threat of rain has not chased away the crews who've set up their work in the right lane of 75 northbound near Kennesaw State University. Seeing delays at 575 as you lose that right lane north of Barrett Parkway. You'll regain it as you approach Wade Green Road and then be on your way up to Ackworth. Still a slow zone. We follow this for about 90 minutes now, and the crash still lingers in a right lane live on the Jam Cam in Suwannee. 85 northbound before Lawrenceville Suwannee Road exit 111. It's slow leaving Duluth Highway. This report sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Save on fall favorites now through September 30th at Whole Foods Market. Your headquarters for pumpkin spice delights, all the flavors of fall and more. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic hits.
I-75 completely shut down north and south between McDonough and Locust Grove.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Brake lights fill in on 316 westbound at Sugarloaf Parkway.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Heavy police fire department activity.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Welcome to Window Wisdom with North Georgia Replacement Windows. Today we're talking with window and door experts Ted Kirk and Jonathan Cullum, owners of North Georgia Replacement Windows. Ted, can you explain how the Infinity fiberglass windows can give us more daylight and bigger views in our home?
Because our Infinity Ultrex fiberglass is so strong, the frames of our windows are thinner, which gives you more daylight and bigger views. Our windows are not big and bulky like other replacement windows.
What if someone wants a window where there isn't one already?
Fortunately, we're licensed general contractors, and we can help with that. Our windows come in both a new construction and replacement option, so we're always guaranteed to have the perfect fit for your home.
How do the Infinity fiberglass windows measure up when it comes to energy efficiency?
Infinity windows have super energy efficient glass that will lower your energy bills and protect your floors, window treatments, and home furnishings from fading out from the damaging sun's UV rays.
Jonathan, anything else you'd like to add?
Just remember, if you're replacing your old windows that are leaking or rotting, choose Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows, or you're giving up both daylight and views. And not only are our fiberglass windows more durable, they are truly beautiful windows.
Jonathan and Ted, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, experience, and expertise. And right now at North Georgia Replacement Windows, it's time to huddle up for huge savings. You'll enjoy 17% off your project. Plus, up to 12 months, no interest, no payment financing. That's 17% off your project. Plus, up to 12 months, no interest, no payments. Hurry, offers end 9/30/2025. Visit our beautiful showroom in Alpharetta to see all the possibilities. Huddle up now for these amazing savings. And check out all the details online at ngwindows.com. ngwindows.com.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
Hurricane season is here, friends, and now's the time to make sure your roof is ready for whatever comes next. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back with you. At Dr. Roof, they're experts at hurricane proofing your home. From inspecting shingles to reinforcing your roof structure, they make sure your home is secure before the storm hits. Don't wait until it's too late. Get a free, no-obligation roof inspection from Dr. Roof today. Get ready before the hurricane season goes into overdrive. Call Dr. Roof today.
You've seen them, holiday decorations already up in the stores, trees, wreaths, even the big inflatables. I'm Chris Chandler. Wise Guys Pro Wash keeps my home's exterior looking great, and now my clean home will shine when they put up my holiday lights. They make it simple. Custom design, they provide the lights, install everything, and when the season's over, they pack and store it for me. First-time customers book by October 15th. Mention my name, Chris Chandler, and you'll get $100 off installation. Let Wise Guys Lights brighten your holidays this year.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who have made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
9:54 on the Mark Arum Show, updating the Russia-Ukraine war. Joining us live from News Nation, Joe Khalil. Joe, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
President Trump seemingly taking a 180 after his UN speech on his stance in the Russia-Ukraine war, saying that Ukraine should be able to keep all of their territory, which was a kind of a stunning announcement he made on Truth Social. Reaction from the Russians, where's their stance now?
Yeah, I mean, it really was stunning, right? Just because think, a few months ago, President Trump was saying Ukraine inevitably, they're going to have to give up large swaths of their territory to Russia in order to end the war and come to a peace deal. And a lot of people said, what are you making demands of Russia? What do they have to give up? Now, totally different tone. President Trump, after the speech, basically said Ukraine might be able to keep all of its territory and then some. And then he criticized Russia in a way we don't usually hear from President Trump. Effectively called them weak economically and militarily. He called them a paper tiger. So the Russians are kind of handling this two ways. There was some frustration there. We heard the spokesman for the Kremlin push back and say, we're not a paper tiger, we're a bear. And then he effectively gave a warning to Ukraine saying, whatever President Trump says, if they continue on their path now without coming to the table to negotiate, then the demands in order for a peace deal are only going to get higher and higher. And there was also a bit of, honestly, mocking of President Trump. You had Dmitry Medvedev, who was the former president of Russia, who's still in the government, saying, well, we're just going to wait a couple weeks because we know President Trump, he always changes his mind.
Wow.
He'll be back on our side in just a couple weeks. I mean, effectively, that wasn't verbatim what he said, but that was the message he sent. So, the Russians are clearly not happy about this, but reacting in different ways. We haven't heard from Putin directly, but it's certainly something to see President Trump make this shift.
Joe, the military escalation recently has been these Russian drones over NATO airspace, Poland, Estonia. At what point will NATO respond? It seems like Russia's kind of testing their borders and seeing if NATO will step up or not.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And look, Russia at one point, even President Trump said, well, maybe it was an accident. You don't usually have drone incursions accidentally 3 or 4 or 5 different times, right? So this is a pattern now. Clearly, Russia's testing the West and NATO. Look, there have been several NATO countries that have now said, we will shoot planes down. If Russian aircraft are in our airspace, we will shoot it down. In fact, we've actually seen that happen in one instance already. And President Trump was asked by a reporter, do you think NATO nations should shoot down Russian aircraft in airspace? He was very unequivocal and responded right away and said, yes, absolutely. He supports that. So I think what you're going to see, this is sort of Russia, I believe, testing NATO's resolve. And I think they're going to start to learn that these NATO countries are pushing back and they will take action. You worry about further escalation in the region, of course, but it's Russia is I think having to find out.
Yeah, big escalation. Joe Khalil, News Nation. Great stuff as always, Joe. News, weather, and traffic in 2 when we come back live to D.C. A government shutdown looming. We'll get the latest on that, plus keyword in the 5K a day bonus splits. You're going to get a chance to win $1,000 next on the Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
If your floors feel bouncy and uneven, it's time for AquaGuard Foundation Solutions Crawl Space Experts. Simply go to aquaguard.net and set up an appointment. It's fast and it's easy, and your floors will appreciate you. AquaGuard, the trusted local experts. Remember, AquaGuard.
Starting a business takes grit and fortitude, but to keep it going requires taking care of customers like family. That's our motto, and my family's been sticking to it for decades. Hi, this is Daniel Jape, and you can count on Jape Services to provide quality care and price transparency for your home's heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. At Jape Services, we're a family-run business, and I personally guarantee to treat you like family as well. JapeServices.com.
Jape Services.
Bugs are everywhere. You need a pest control company that protects the outside and inside of your home. That's Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
What you walk on in your home should be wonderful.
Hi, I'm Michael, proud founder of Authentic Hardwood Flooring. Luxury vinyl plank flooring is all the rage, but it's not all the same. Don't settle for flimsy flooring from a big box store. You deserve the highest quality. Plus, no payment, no interest. Our promise is to make your flooring process painless. Our focus is to make it perfect.
Authentic Hardwood Flooring offers high-quality craftsmanship with an exceptional customer experience. AuthenticHardwoodFlooring.com.
Hey, it's your buddy Shelley Winter here, co-host of The Car Guys with my good friend and brother, Kevin Deutsch, from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Whatever you want to know about buying, selling, leasing, or maintaining a vehicle, Kevin has your answers.
That's right, Shelley. For over 40 years, I've sold, leased, fixed, and financed pretty much every make and model. I've seen it all. If you have any car questions, we'll have the answers every Saturday at noon.
It's The Car Guys, Saturdays at noon on 95.5 WSB, brought to you by Butler Lexus of South Atlanta.
news,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating and Air. Let's start with some good news when it comes to the labor market here in Metro Atlanta.
The State Department of Labor says Metro Atlanta's unemployment rate's holding steady at 3.5%. It was 3.9% a year ago. Jobs are up slightly in the metro. Local government sees the biggest gains from July with an additional 7,400 positions. Healthcare and social assistance positions jumped by about 2,600. On the other hand, jobs are down about 3,000 in the arts, entertainment, and recreation sector, with a similar drop in professional, scientific, and technical services. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
And a positive sign in the housing market. The latest government report says new home sales last month jumped 20% compared to July. That's a bigger increase than expected and also a 3-year high. Your weather for today, cloudy with on and off rain showers. A few thunderstorms are possible, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Your afternoon high right there around 81. A disturbing story this morning. Michael Wallace reports U.S. and Mexican authorities have arrested a cartel leader who allegedly ran a baby trafficking ring.
Marta Alicia Mendez Aguilar is known as La Diabla. Senior intelligence officials tell CBS News her Jalisco New Generation cartel in northern Mexico lured pregnant women to remote areas and performed cesarean sections on them. They allegedly harvested the dead mother's organs and sold the babies to couples in the U.S. for as much as $14,000. The director of the National Counterterrorism Center says it's an example of what cartels will do to diversify their revenue streams.
And DeKalb County Police will be getting more help from drones, cameras, and other technology in a new crime-fighting initiative.
The county's investing nearly $19 million in the high-tech effort.
Digital Shield is designed to extend officer reach without adding a staffing drain.
Interim Police Chief Greg Pedrick tells county commissioners the technology will integrate with their real-time crime center.
Video feeds, license plate recognition, body-worn cameras that the officers wear.
He says a big part of the initiative is the Flock camera system, which is getting even better at zeroing in on specific vehicles wanted in criminal cases. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
Measles cases at a new high since the disease was declared eradicated 25 years ago. More than 1,500 cases reported by the Atlanta-based CDC as of Wednesday, with outbreaks spreading in Utah, Arizona, and here in Georgia. The latest outbreak linked to a case at Georgia State. We've had 10 confirmed cases of measles here in Georgia so far this year. The illness has been growing as vaccination rates decline. The Trump administration may take a new path if the government shuts down next Tuesday in the absence of an agreement on a budget, and Democrats and Republicans remain far apart.
In exchange for their votes, Democrats want concessions like rolling back this year's Medicaid cuts and extending health insurance tax credits. President Trump canceled the meeting with Democratic congressional leaders that was scheduled for today, calling their demands ridiculous. Last night, those same Democratic leaders responded to the threat of layoffs, calling them an act of intimidation and telling the administration to, quote, get lost.
That is Ed O'Keefe reporting. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 154 at 45,966. NASDAQ is down more than a full percent, and the S&P is down more than 0.5%. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smile Mark McKay joining us now with a look at the roads.
Better news in Swanee, Sabrina. 85 northbound. Crash that lingered for about 90 minutes is finally cleared. No flashing lights, no lanes blocked. 85 north before Lawrenceville Swanee Road. We'll see improvement there. Construction takes out the right lane in Kennesaw. 75 northbound north of Barrett Parkway. Exits 269. Delays back into the 575 interchange. And there's a slowdown rolling into Cartersville this morning. DOT says left lane crash on I-75 southbound before Highway 411. That's exit 293. Smile Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today with scattered rain showers and a few thunderstorms, high 81. Scattered rain showers continue for tonight, lows in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, rain and thunderstorms moving through, high 79. Drying out on Saturday with highs in the low 80s.
It is 73 degrees in Douglasville, 72 in Winder. Sandy Springs has 74 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Thursday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole gang with us today. Deborah, executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Down south, Vinny. screens your calls. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB. And in 30 minutes, travel expert Peter Greenberg joins us live. The incomparable actor Michael Chiklis is going to join us at 10:50. Love his work so much. Right now, though, I want to update the possibility of a government shutdown.
Democrats are ready, willing, and able to sit down with anyone at any place at any time to avoid the Republican-caused government shutdown.
That's House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Let's go live to the nation's capital. Joining us from CBS News, our buddy Willie James Inman. Willie, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Hey, Mark. Good morning.
So we got this September 30th shutdown deadline looming. We got the bill out of the House, Senate pushing back. Democrats want to meet with President Trump. He says no go.
Yeah, that's right. And this comes after the leader in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, and the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer demanded in a letter to meet President Trump last weekend. Now, the president seemed like he was going to meet both leaders this week, but essentially that all fell apart in large part because of what Democrats are demanding: increased incentives for the Affordable Care Act, some health care subsidies, as well as rolling back some of the cuts that the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill made to Medicaid. So clearly there's a stall in terms of negotiations here. Republicans had already had a plan to kick the can down the road, so to speak, with a continuing resolution that failed last week. So we're seemingly closer to a shutdown as the White House warns departments to prepare, I should say, rather, for layoffs and essentially pausing government projects.
Yeah, so the budget office from the White House is telling federal agencies to get ready for plans for mass firings if the government shuts down, which I would imagine, A, puts extra pressure on the Democrats, but B, I could imagine, with all the cuts we've seen from DOJ, the Trump administration might not be unhappy if they had to get these mass firings done.
Well, yeah, look, if you look at it that way, it certainly could be a reduction in the cost of things. But remember, with government funding, a lot of things, when legislation passes, could perhaps be retroactive. So if you lay some employees off temporarily, you'll have to essentially give them back pay if you bring them back in that time, depending on how long the shutdown lasts. So it's unclear in terms of what will happen, but the White House is saying that the president supports a clean, continuing resolution that would keep government funding at the current levels. Republicans had a plan to keep that funding in place until November 21st, and then they would negotiate further funding. But in a statement, the Office of Management and Budget said that they hope that Democrats will agree to this continuing resolution.
Willie James Inman from CBS joining us from D.C. live on the Mark Arum Show. Do we know what Democrats want to come to the table and strike a deal, or do we know what they're asking for?
Yeah, they actually put forward a plan. Part of it would have included, as I mentioned, some extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies, rolling back some of the Medicaid cuts that the One Big Beautiful Bill made. And on top of that, funding for public broadcasters. Remember, there were some major cuts to PBS, NPR, and others, but clearly that is a no-go for Republicans.
While I have you, Willie, briefly updated the Russia-Ukraine war. President Trump, after his UN speech, really did a 180, basically completely siding with Ukraine right now and having harsh words for Russia. How is that falling in Russia, and how's that falling on Capitol Hill?
Yeah, well, largely the Russians are dismissing President Trump's remarks and his statements, essentially calling Russia a paper tiger. And he also said that Ukraine, with the help of Europe, remember the U.S. is essentially selling weapons to help Ukraine by the Europeans buying them and then giving them to the Ukrainians in large part, replacing some of the weapons that they've given to the Ukrainians, rather. But on Capitol Hill, some of the folks who are strongly supportive of Ukraine welcomed the president's somewhat an about face, because he previously said that there would have to be some land swapping done. And the Ukrainian president welcomed the president's remarks in his statement, saying that Ukraine could perhaps win back all of its territory, if not more. with that continued security assistance. Remember that security assistance, those guarantees, is something that Ukraine has continued to look for. And President Trump really is trying to put some pressure on Putin with, in addition to saying that European allies, NATO countries should stop buying Russian oil, but in this public about face, really trying to blast Putin in a more direct way than we've seen before.
Final question for you, Willie. If I'm reading correctly, President Trump's going to host the Turkish president today at the White House. Do we know when that's going to happen? And more importantly, for my selfish needs, is there going to be a press conference?
Well, Mark, we always hope for a press conference, but we always love to have those exchanges with the president. So as of now, I'm currently looking at the White House schedule. No press conference scheduled, but we do, of course, have the president meeting with not only the president of Turkey, President Erdogan, but he's also meeting with the Pakistani prime minister as well. As of now, most of these meetings are closed press, which means that we won't be necessarily in the room. Press won't be in the room, but these things can always change because President Trump does love to have those cameras in the room talking to not only the American people, but to us reporters live. So we'll be there if things change.
Georgia State's own Willie James Inman, CBS News in D.C. Willie, as always, appreciate your time, my friend.
Appreciate it.
There you go. And the news team will monitor, by the way, the president's meeting with the world leaders today, and we'll have updates throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. All right, Longo, let's give away $1,000, my friend. Yes, it's the 5K a day bonus blitz. Your 10 a.m. keyword is HOPE, H-O-P-E, HOPE. Enter the keyword HOPE into the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is HOPE, H-O-P-E. And don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you don't recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you won $1,000. The keyword is HOPE, H-O-P-E, HOPE. Good luck, my friends. All right, joining us live in studio, always a pleasure to have our colleague from Channel 2 Action News here, the legendary investigative reporter Justin Gray. Justin, good to see you. What a great shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Is that wardrobe approved from Channel 2?
I know it's a little tight, right? It was from the back of my closet. It's laundry day.
I know vertical stripe or horizontal stripes might not work well on. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll find out. I thought I could put a sport coat.
Oh yeah,
over
sport coat.
Yeah.
I was always told don't wear horizontal stripes on TV. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
All right. You look fantastic. I love that you're coming in. This isn't so much an investigation. Well, it's an investigation, but it's a tragic local story, and I think it's relevant to the listeners. Anyone that is, of a certain age and has equity in their home, and you're like, okay, I'll be okay with retirement. I've got my home. A widow in Gwinnett County. This is a shocking story. Let me just hand it off to you from there.
And I'll just start saying it's really confusing.
Yeah.
Which is why we spent several days. My original thought was this can't be true. That this woman can't be losing her house with making $0. It wasn't being foreclosed on by a bank or anything. Somebody just now had her house and she didn't, and she had no money. But that is best we can tell what's going on. And it's a long string of paperwork and things. But I think for viewers to know is, like you said, there's a lot of people who get older, maybe fall behind. They're looking for answers, and they can get sort of swept up by some of these folks making promises. There are a lot of these investors out there knocking on doors, making phone calls, making promises. And I think her case is very confusing. I think intentionally so, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think the larger message for people is you have to be so careful. This is your big investment. This is something you spent 20, 30, 40 years paying into, and you can't let somebody run away with it.
Elderly widow, not living in the home, right? She is currently in some sort of care facility.
Well, she's back. What was so sad about this, when she found out, the courts basically said, this is it, you're out. She had essentially a mental breakdown. Her family took her to a mental health facility. She's back in the home right now packing up because eviction day, as things stand now, is tomorrow. So she's there packing up the last of her belongings.
So it's insane. This is her home. She has equity in the home.
Yeah.
And is there a term that's being used? Eviction?
She is being evicted from the new owners. The question is, how did these new owners get the house?
Yeah.
And that gets confusing. She signed with this other company that the Attorney General is suing, Home Saver 911, to help her with foreclosure problems. They transferred the deed to this original investor who said this was our home. So he transferred the deed to them, And because of that, they now have deed to the house without paying apparently a dime here.
So she's literally homeless now, without the home that she's
without the money that she is owed. Now, the attorney for that investor tells me we are willing to pay her the money. Claims he's tried to pay her the money. She says that's not the case. Either way, just pay her the money.
Yeah.
When I reached out to him, he told me I might be violating Georgia law by playing attorney. And I don't play an attorney on TV. I don't play one on the radio.
No.
I just ask questions.
Yeah.
And instead of answering those questions, he said I was the one breaking the law. So that when people don't answer the questions, I think is when we have more questions.
Yeah, so really tragic, confusing story, as you mentioned, Justin. For the listeners now, if you have elderly parents or grandparents that might, wind up in a similar situation, is there anything we should be doing or not doing?
I think with so many of these stories we've done, whether it was the company that did the 40-year listings that finally the Attorney General took action on, or this Home Saver 911 or this investor, it's don't sign anything, right?
Yeah.
Don't just sign something when somebody comes knocking on that door, makes that phone call, makes that promise. Be very, very careful. Go to a trusted source, whether it's a child and just run everything by them.
Yeah.
Be very careful about what you sign. There are real resources out there. Just slow down, right? They're not promising you something for nothing.
Justin Gray. Mom, if you're listening, listen to Justin. Don't sign anything, Mom. Text me before you sign anything.
Yeah, and while I'm here, just when the bank calls and says it's fraud, don't talk to them either, right?
Yeah.
None of this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Just always slow down.
Unrelated. Did you meet Demi Moore? What's her name?
Drew Barrymore. I did meet Drew Barrymore.
I've got a bone to pick. Like, no one told me she was going to be
It's
here.
for the TV people.
Well, I want to promote the show. I'm literally 2 floors below.
Yeah, maybe if it was a few years ago, you're still a TV guy, but she didn't come to this floor, did she? Wow.
All right.
Yeah, no, she's great. Exactly what you might imagine. Just wonderful.
I can only imagine. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah.
Remind me, Deborah, not to promote the Drew Barrymore show on Channel 2 since we didn't get an interview. I really appreciate you coming in.
Thanks
though,
for
Justin.
having us.
Thanks so much. Justin's story, if you want further clarity, is posted right now at WSBTV.com. Keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz is HOPE, H-O-P-E, HOPE. You got till 10:30 to pop that into the WSB radio app. Do we have hope on the roadways right now, Mark McKay?
For the most part, we do on 285, except on that west side perimeter, Mark. It's traffic trooper Mark first tipped me off to this breakdown that we see on the jam cam. It's a truck on 285 southbound, broken down left center lane just below Hollowell Parkway, exit 12. So delays leaving Smyrna into the I-20 interchange. That's construction holding you up out of Marietta again today. Right lane knocked out. I-75 northbound north of Barrett Parkway, exit 269, and rolling into Cartersville, a crash in the left lane we see on the jam cam as well. Right in the heart of Bartow County, I-75 southbound before Highway 411, exit 293. This report sponsored by ZeroCancer.org. If it's caught early, prostate cancer has a 99% survival rate. Find a nearby screening location at zerocancer.org/PSA. Smile, Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
Eric Erickson.
Informative and topical when you want it.
And he's involved in keeping Chinese communist students at American University.
And a break when you need it.
I forgot to leave food out for the cat. Can you go check on the cat?
Eric Erickson.
By belittling other people, you show your tribal loyalty.
Today, starting at noon, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
As summer winds down, there's never a better time than to upgrade your AC system. Hey, folks, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at Reliable. Check out this amazing end-of-season savings. Get any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Get your free consultation by going to ReliableAir.com. Check this out. 0 down, low monthly payments, all future repairs, maintenance, even filters are no additional charge for life, and unbeatable lifetime warranty, 24/7 service, and next day installation, or they pay you $500. Plus, summer might be officially over, but we know in Atlanta it's never over until we get to like December. So get an amazing deal, end of season savings from my pals at Reliable. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at ReliableAir.com. Click on the Book Now button or call or text 770-594-9969.
Barry Manilow. Looks like we made it. The last Duluth concert. Barry Manilow. See him performing all the hits for one night only. Barry Manilow at Gas South Arena Friday, January 16th. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
This is Mike Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers.
And this is Jonathan Geller. And Dad, you've got to admit, our history is pretty cool. 86 years, 3 generations of love stories.
What keeps us going is that we've still got the best jewelry and diamonds at prices nobody can beat.
It all comes down to the best jewelry, best service, and best prices at D. Geller & Son in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Affordable jewelry for everyone is at D. Geller & Son.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
Those wire shelves in your closet are just a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. Dave Baker for Artisan Custom Closets. At Artisan, we see it all the time. The wire shelves come crashing down. Clothes, shoes, bags are everywhere. It's a disaster zone. Save yourself before this happens to you. With a custom, spacious closet from Artisan, you'll never have to look at that clutter again. Your shoes, bags, clothes, accessories, all neatly organized and designed to stay that way. ArtisanCustomClosets.com.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Skip the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home quickly with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, it's Chris Chandler, and I'm here in the studio with Mark of Mark Spain Real Estate. Mark, selling a home can be a stressful process. What's the biggest difference for sellers when they choose the guaranteed offer?
When you're selling a home the traditional way, you're praying the buyer can get their loan. You're hoping the appraisal can come in at the price that's on the contract, because if it's not, it adds so much complexity and uncertainty. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, it's all cash, it's a quick closing, and you don't have the uncertainties of financing contingencies.
Thanks, Mark. With over 13,000 five-star reviews, you can trust the most experienced real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home fast and for maximum profit. Don't wait for your home to sell. Choose when you want to move and close with confidence. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Oh, what a great movie. That's Wall Street. Gordon Gekko's character, played by actor Michael Douglas, who turns 81 years old today. 81 years old. Michael Douglas in Wall Street. Charlie Sheen was in that. Oh, Deborah, have you seen the Charlie Sheen documentary yet on Netflix?
I have not. Is it worth it?
I'm one episode in.
Okay.
And it's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah. The fact that that dude is still alive is remarkable.
Does it cover how, like, the cartel cut him off because he did so much coke?
Not yet. Not yet, but I just got to the Heidi Fleiss portion of his life, where he got busted for the high cost call. I mean, allegedly, he's clean and sober now for years, and he looks good. But yeah. I mean, if you're a child of the '80s and Charlie Sheen was in Platoon and Wall Street and Ferris Bueller's Day Off and I'm not done with it yet, but one episode in, I'm going to say. All right, so Michael Douglas turns 81. There he said greed is good, which reminds me to check Wall Street. I can't understand the markets. We got great positive news on the GDP and on the housing market, and all the indexes are down. So whatever. There you go. Greed is good. So Michael Douglas turns 81 today. His wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones, turns 56 today. So married couple share their birthday. 81 to 56. Is that inappropriate, Deborah, as far as a married couple goes?
I mean, they've been together for how long, right? They've been together for a while.
No longer. They couldn't have been together more than 56 years since Catherine's. All right, so here's a question. Hypothetical. I'm happily married. This is not, but I just want to try to get the math now. I'm 51 years old. How old could I date someone, or how young could I date someone without it being icky? Like, what's the cutoff for a 51-year-old? 40?
31, maybe?
31? Oh, all right.
Maybe. Because at least, at least 30s, you kind of you're done with school, you've worked a little bit, you might have hit some milestones, you've lived some life in your 30s,
All right.
Anything younger.
Yeah, I think 30s.
Yeah,
so
I think
51, if I was dating a 31-year-old, that'd
maybe.
be okay? Yeah, I'm with you.
That's the latest. I mean, like mid-30s. Yeah, mid-30s.
Now, unfortunately, I am older than Maya, but not much. But she looks so much younger than me that people think, we have been out, and people thought that I was her dad.
I don't think you look that much older than Maya, but she definitely looks like a good 7 years younger than what she is.
There was a former coworker of mine, worked upstairs on the 3rd floor. He recently told a mutual friend that he loves seeing the pictures of me and my daughter traveling the world. Like, oh, Mark took his daughter to Japan. How? Like, what? Anyway, I digress. That is crazy, right? I'm like 6 years older than my wife, people. Stop. She just looks really young. But coworkers like, oh, I love Mark traveling the world with his daughter. Anyway, happy birthday, Zeta-Jones, Mr. Douglas. News, weather, and traffic at 3. 5K Day bonus blitz. Keyword is HOPE, H-O-P-E, HOPE. Pop that into the WSB radio app, and you can win $1,000 in minutes. Travel expert Peter Greenberg live next on the Mark Arum Show.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
We've all got one, and there's never just one thing on it. Your home improvement to-do list. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus covers everything on your list. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, the owner of Painting Plus. We do it all, and we do it right. Trust the Plus family of businesses for everything on your list.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for The Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. The U.S. economy hit the accelerator in the second quarter. Business reporter Jason Brooks has more.
Economic growth was stronger than expected, with the government revising second quarter GDP higher to 3.8% from 3.3%. A big surprise for the market, which expected the numbers to remain steady. The increase in GDP is credited to lower imports and stronger consumer spending, helping offset weaker investment activity. In addition to that, orders for big-ticket items like appliances and electronics unexpectedly rose 2.9% in August, rebounding from a decline the previous month.
Initial jobless claims fell by 14,000 to 218,000. Locally, the state labor department says Metro Atlanta's unemployment rate is holding steady at 3.5%, but still down from 3.9% a year ago. While we're talking about money, the Social Security Administration is going to be ending the practice of mailing out physical checks to beneficiaries. So consumer expert Clark Howard says the older generation might need a little help from you changing that if they are not comfortable with computers.
Their family members or friends are going to need to help them convert to receive those payments electronically.
September 30th is the deadline to sign up for electronic benefits. A very small percentage of recipients are still reliant, though, on paper checks. All right, your weather for today. It's cloudy. On and off rain showers are possible. A few thunderstorms also possible today, with a high of 81, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. And we are watching some tropical activity in the Atlantic. Meteorologist Ginger Z says 2 storms are brewing right now that could impact the U.S. mainland.
We've got Umberto that formed yesterday as a tropical storm. It will become a hurricane, pass between Bermuda and the United States. Rip current's probably the biggest impact. But how much Umberto interacts with that next wave that will likely become Imelda and form by late week into the weekend, head over the Bahamas, and then all these other factors. There's this big upper level low, a stationary front. That is going to tell us how much South Carolina or North Carolina gets in the way of rain, wind, and potential even landfall.
And of course, we'll be watching that for you. Atlanta's hometown airline is making some changes to its Airbus jets to stop toxic fumes from leaking into the cabin. Michael Wallace has more on this move by Delta.
Last week, the Wall Street Journal reported about thousands of cases where fumes from an Airbus jet's engines have given passengers and crew concussion-like brain injuries. Dr. Robert Harrison has treated more than 100 flight crew members.
And it gets into their brain and can affect the other parts of the nervous system.
Now, the journal reports Delta is replacing the auxiliary power units in the tails of its Airbus jets. Those units can pump the toxic air into the cabin when the plane's 2 main engines aren't running. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Honda is pulling the plug on production of the Acura ZDX electric crossover SUV. It was assembled by General Motors plant in Tennessee. In a statement, the Japanese carmaker citing, quote, market conditions for its decision to stop making this vehicle. The move comes as U.S. federal tax credits for electric vehicle purchases are set to expire next week. All right, if you notice that you're having trouble concentrating or forgetting certain things, you're not alone. A Yale study found a rising number of adults in the United States, particularly people under the age of 40, are reporting serious issues with their memory and concentration. Researchers say more study is needed to understand if this reflects actual changes in the brain health or just better awareness and willingness to report cognitive problems. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow is currently down 40 at 46,080. NASDAQ also down about 0.5%, and the S&P is not far behind. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Mark McKay, smiling Mark McKay in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Thanks, Marina. We're watching delays on the east side perimeter. Looks like a crash in Clarkston on 285 northbound, just above Memorial Drive. Delays back at Covington Highway on the outer loop. The west side perimeter will recover. It was a breakdown. Hero got to it, got it out of left center lane. All lanes open. 285 southbound at Hollowell Parkway, exit 12. Right lane construction in Kennesaw holding bound. They're working above Chastain Road, exit 271. And a left lane crash in Bartow County rolling toward Cartersville, 75 southbound. First responders doing their work live on the jam cam before Highway 411, exit 293. Smiling Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and a few rumbles of thunder today, high 81. Rain showers continue for tonight with lows in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, rain and thunderstorms rolling through, high 79. Drying out on Saturday with partly cloudy skies, high 83.
74 degrees right now in Canton. Johns Creek has 74, and it's 76 right now in Brookhaven. And we'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Coming up on the Friday edition of Atlanta's Morning News from 5 to 9 after a soggy end to this work week, what meteorologist Christina Edwards says we can expect for the weekend and into next week. Plus, Clark Howard looks at insurance offered by one big-name wholesaler on WSB.
We do expect to see slower GDP growth in the second half of 2025.
Got some good numbers when it comes to housing and the GDP. What about travel? How's that going? Travel expert Peter Greenberg live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show. They say nothing is certain except death and taxes. But in Georgia, add roaches to that list. They are absolutely everywhere. Mark Arum here for Breda Pest Management, the folks I trust to get rid of roaches in my home. Many companies have stopped going inside homes and they raised their prices. Doing less, charging more, ridiculous. Breda, they handle bugs and critters inside and outside like those disgusting roaches.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs. Hi, I'm Lacey, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. And yes, I'm actually a jeweler. I bring dream engagement rings to life every day in our jeweler's workshop. When I hand set your diamond into your ring, I think about creating a piece you'll wear for a lifetime. I pay attention to the smallest details and treat every ring with the same care and craftsmanship, no matter the size or price. Come check us out at your nearby store. Our engagement rings are made with love from our hands to yours, because a friend knows your love deserves the highest quality. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta classical concert led by music director Natalie Stutzman, who opens the season with Copeland's iconic Fanfare for the Common Man. Then, cellist Alisa Weilerstein joins the orchestra to perform music by Elgar. And your orchestra ends strong with a heroic tone poem by Strauss. October 3rd through 5th at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org. Having trouble getting in to see the doctor? Wait no longer. All Care is here. All Care is expert immediate care and primary care under a single roof, offering convenience and continuity for your healthcare needs at 15 Atlanta area locations. And best of all, we are fully staffed and ready for you when you need us. Same-day appointments are available and walk-ins are welcomed. Or schedule an appointment at allcare-ga.com. Say goodbye to waiting to see the doctor and say hello to All Care, a proud member of the Piedmont Integrated Network Clinic.
At Shane Company, we've been engagement ring experts for almost 100 years. We have the largest selection of diamonds and gemstones in stock. You don't have to wait to compare them side by side. Find the one that speaks to you at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
10:37 on the Mark Arum Show, coming up in about 12 minutes. Actor Michael Chiklis is going to join us live at 11:37. Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Andrea Bocelli. Right now, though, we check the world of travel. Joining us live in the Big Apple, travel expert Peter Greenberg. Peter, good morning, my friend. How are you holding up?
I'm doing just fine, Mark.
Excellent. I got to ask you first about air traffic controllers, because we did a story the other day where there was an air traffic controller, I don't believe it was in the United States, but he fell asleep and a jet was forced to circle the airport because there was no one awake at the air traffic control tower. Getting word that the folks at the Air Traffic Control Bureau or Center have hired 2,000 new air traffic controllers. Is that good news? And does that mean we don't have to worry about ATC anymore?
It's qualified good news because remember the washout rate for new air traffic controllers is about 30%. So if you run the numbers, they really hired about 1,400, and even then it's going to take 2 to 3 years to get them up to speed. It's a tough job. It's an intense training position, and it takes that long before they'll let anybody sit at a console by themselves. So it is relatively good news. That doesn't mean our problems are solved immediately.
Do we just need to up the pay by like 50% to attract more qualified folks into that line of work?
As far as I'm concerned, you can't pay them enough. Yes, why not?
Yeah, maybe some former Spirit employees might decide if they lose their gigs, they might apply to be air traffic controllers. What's the latest with Spirit? Are they circling the drain at this point?
Well, a lot of people might think they are. This is their second bankruptcy filing in less than 12 months. Earlier this week, they furloughed 1/3 of their flight attendants. They've also furloughed some pilots, parked some planes, and canceled some routes. They are still operating, Mark. But what's happening is their competitors are sort of circling around them, spelling an opportunity. Frontier announcing 20 new routes. United Airlines, 15 new routes. JetBlue pulling out of Miami and going to begin to operate out of Miami with 100 daily departures. These are all routes and departures where Spirit now flies. So get ready for a fall quarter fare war as they begin to lower the fares to basically move that Spirit market to them, and Spirit having less and less opportunity to get the financing it needs to stay in the air.
And all of this because Spirit was looking for someone to merge with, right? But nothing was able to come of that.
Well, the original merger partner was Frontier Airlines until JetBlue stepped up with a bigger offer. The Spirit shareholders went with that. Then that was blocked by a federal judge claiming it was anti-competitive, and that put Spirit in a financial freefall. Didn't make matters any better for JetBlue, and that's where we are today. So there'll be a short-term fare war where you'll see fares offered at less than the cost of the airlines even being able to operate at those fares, simply because they want to grab all of Spirit's traffic.
Forgive my ignorance because I've never flown Spirit, but do they have like miles, rewards, flight vouchers, that listeners should be like, all right, I better hurry up and cash this stuff in before Spirit goes belly up?
If you're a member of their frequent flyer program, the time to redeem your miles was earlier today. I mean, seriously, it's time to do that for any airline because none of these miles accrue interest or value. They get devalued all the time. But in Spirit's case, they'll have no value if the airline liquidates.
Travel expert Peter Greenberg joining us live at the Mark Arum Show. I don't believe you and I have discussed this story, but it was a pretty big local story. We went in depth with it on last week. The federal government saying whatever partnership Delta Airlines has with Aeromexico needs to come to an end. Delta has over 100 daily flights into Mexico City. Are you familiar with that story, and what do you think that's going to mean to the future of both Aeromexico and Delta?
Well, I am. Delta's been partnered with Aeromexico on a lot of different routes and partnerships for quite some time. What the federal government is basically saying is that Delta and Aeromexico are essentially dominating so much of the Mexican market with this partnership. It's interesting because under the Trump administration, this might actually constitute an antitrust case, which we've never seen them file, either in the first term or even now. So it remains to be seen if it's going to hold up. I'm pretty sure Delta's going to appeal it. So for the moment, it stays the same.
Peter Greenberg in New York right now. I'm assuming you're speaking at the UN later today. That's why you're in the Big Apple. Is that right?
Yeah, right. I stay as far away from the UN as I can. Who wants to get stuck in that traffic? You saw what happened with the French president the other day. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that is funny. One more thing, Peter. Which airline bumped the most passengers in the first months of 2025? First 6 months, what airline has said, oh, sorry, we don't have a seat for you anymore?
Well, we're talking about what we call involuntary denied boarding, where they ask for volunteers. Nobody volunteers, and they start pulling people off the plane and writing them checks. The airline that bumped the most, which means they paid the most money, maybe, was American. They bumped more than 7,000 people, but here's the fun part. Who bumped the least? In fact, there was one airline out there that bumped nobody. How about that? Nobody.
Air Force One?
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Right in your backyard. It was Delta. They involuntarily denied boarding to nobody because they showed up first with more checks and money to compensate them for voluntarily giving up their seat. So they managed it a lot better than an airline like American.
Yeah, I've got a friend that's his side hustle. He just books flights that he knows are going to be oversold, goes to the airport, and then sells his ticket for 5 times what he paid for it, and then gets rebooked the next day. It's crazy what some of the stuff they offer there.
Yep. If you listen, believe it or not, in some cases, the gate agents have now been authorized to offer up to $10,000 in extreme cases. So I'm not telling people to run out to the airport now and make believe they're overbooked, but the dynamics have changed.
Final quick question, Peter. I didn't get a chance to talk about this story yesterday. It came from the U.S. Sun. I guess that's a British newspaper, the U.S. edition. U.S. travelers will be fingerprinted before flights in a new October 12th border law hitting 29 countries. Do you know anything about this?
I do. All the European countries are going to e-gates, which is a great idea. For those sentimentalists like me who love having their passport stamped, that will become a thing of the past. You'll get fingerprinted once It's all about biometrics and facial recognition. And then no more 8-hour lines to go through passport protection and border control. When you get there, you just zip right through.
So it's a good thing for travelers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely a good thing.
Unless you're a convicted felon and your fingerprints are going to send warnings to TSA or anything
Which will be a good thing for everybody else.
That is true. Where are you heading to next, Peter?
We're actually going to Rome tomorrow for the World Travel and Tourism Global Summit. And then from there, we're actually going to Tahiti.
I want your life, Peter. I want your life.
You do not want my schedule.
I don't know. I might do it. Peter, great stuff as always, my friend. Safe travels, buddy.
You got it, Mark.
There you go. Travel expert Peter Greenberg. Where are you going? Oh, Rome and Tahiti. Rome, Italy, by the way, not Rome, Georgia, for those are listening. All right, quick break. When we come back, actor Michael Chiklis going to join us live on the Mark Arum Show. Right now, Smiler Mark McKay checks the Thursday morning drive around town.
And the slow traffic on the east side perimeter. DOT had a stall that was in a travel lane in Clarkston, 285 north of Memorial Drive. Still seeing delays back toward Covington Highway. Construction's going to be there as long as the rain stays away. In the right lane, rolling out of Kennesaw, past Kennesaw State University. You lose that right lane, I-75 northbound, north of Chastain Road, exit 271. Pretty heavy already leaving Highway 5. And delays into Cartersville, crash works in the left lane, live on the Jam Cam, I-75 southbound before Highway 411, exit 293. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news.
is where you'll live.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
Oh my God!
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 12 p.m.
Skip the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home quickly with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you'll make, so who you work with matters. My friends at Mark Spain Real Estate are the most experienced real estate team in the U.S., and you can trust them to sell your home fast and for maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed cash offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
That nagging joint pain, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Sometimes it's an old injury that just never healed right. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long. But that stops right now. I'm Mark Arum. QC Kinetics is here to flip that script. They use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints, not cover it up, not cut it out, actually helping heal and restore. And the results, long-term, lasting relief. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Bring your MRIs, your x-rays, and they'll make sure you're a good candidate. Your first consultation, it's free, friends, so there's no reason to wait. Call QC Kinetics, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Decatur, Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, and Douglasville. Appointments available on Saturday. 770-285-8026.
If you've ever organized your closet only to have it look like a bomb went off in there 1 month later, then it's time to call Artisan Custom Closets. Dave Baker here with a custom spacious closet from Artisan. You'll never have to deal with all that clutter again. ArtisanCustomClosets.com.
As you go through your end-of-season to-dos, add Call Castile Cooling and Heating to the checklist. You wouldn't send your kids to school unprepared, so don't send your air conditioner into hibernation without a checkup from our specialists. If you've noticed your system struggling, weird sounds, smells, or changes in airflow, let's fix it now. Right now, install a new HVAC system and get up to $2,000 in free upgrades and 0% interest financing. Book today, and help is on the way. CastileAir.com.
At Butler Lexus of South Atlanta, they just don't sell cars. They set the standard of amazing. Enjoy personalized service, a Starbucks cafe, and airport parking concierge, because you deserve more than just a car. Visit ButlerLexusSouthAtlanta.com or call 800-NEW-LEXUS today, because they value you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case costs, We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer. 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Rhino Shield is better than paint because it will keep your home beautiful, and it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
Get a free estimate at rhinoshieldga.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
No matter the season, Breda's got your back, protecting the outside and inside of your home. It's the bugs inside you want gone. Breda, they handle bugs and critters.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Happy 42nd birthday, Childish Gambino, a.k.a. Donald Glover. This is Grammy Award-winning hit Redbone. Deborah, I went to college with Donald Glover.
Really?
Huh?
Not this one, though. So what's funny is Don Glover, that I went to college with, looks a lot like Donald Glover, and after college went into stand-up comedy and became pretty successful. In fact, if you ever seen those old MTV shows where I don't know like what they were exactly, but they would talk about a certain point in pop culture history, and they don't have comedian. Yeah. Like he's in all of those.
Okay.
So my buddy Donald Glover was the first Donald Glover on the scene, but I love all the Donald Glovers. Happy birthday, Childish Gambino, 42 years old today. Coming up after the news at 11, we're going to go back live to Washington. John Harley from Bloomberg News going to join us live with the latest on a possible government shutdown. But before we get into that, very honored to have amazing actor Michael Chiklis joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Mr. Chiklis, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. You kidding me?
Now
Great.
I just did some sort of strange bingo when it comes to IMDb. You are the only actor, according to my research, that has appeared in my two favorite television shows, Wise Guy and Seinfeld. That's a remarkable achievement, my friend. That's how far back I follow your career. I'm a Vinny Terranova Wise Guy original fan.
Well, that's going way back, man. Wow. Both great experiences for me, actually, because work begets work, as they say, and both of those shows led to other work. When I did Wise Guy, I was living in Brooklyn at the time, and I went up there, and the showrunner, this guy named Steve Kronish, came up to me after I did a scene, very Pesci-esque scene. Of course, I was playing a wise guy in Wise Guy. So I shot up I got frustrated because I lost a ball in playing pinball, and I shot the pinball machine like you do. And this guy said, "Can I talk to you?" And Steve Kronish, he took me outside to have a chat. And he goes, "Listen, you're too young. Like you're like 15, 20 years too young to play this character that I wrote in a show, but you're the guy. You're him." And I was like, "Oh yeah, well, what's it called?" There was a show called The Commish.
Oh.
So that's how The Commish happened.
Wow.
From Wise Guy, Another great story about Seinfeld, and I got to get to the senior, but this Seinfeld, we shot that on the first day of the first Gulf War. So we were backstage, and I come back into the green room, and Jerry was standing there with his mouth hanging open watching CNN as Scud missiles slammed into Tel Aviv. And he said, my parents are there, and I can't get in touch with them. And I was like, oh my God. And we were all, next thing you know, the whole cast is standing there, watching. And all of a sudden they were like, places! And we were like, So I think a lot of the nervous energy that we had from watching that report, we brought into that show, and it ended up making it a particularly funny show because we were just so anxious that sometimes nervous energy translates into, you got to use it. So anyway, that was a little bit of a...
That's remarkable. I had never heard that story. Michael Chiklis joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. I could spend 3 hours talking about your fabulous career, but I know you're here to promote a movie that is now out in theaters. Tell us about The Senior.
Yes. Well, I played the oldest college football player in the history of college football. It's a true story.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, some movies say this is based on a true story. This one says this is a true story because it really is. And Mike Flint, this animal, well, he's a lovely man, but I mean, he's just a powerhouse. He screwed up when he was a senior in college. He got thrown out of school for fighting. And, he was the captain of his football team. They were supposed to go undefeated that year, and they ended up being a 500 team. And he always felt it was a huge regret, and he felt like he let his teammates down, and he left there with his tail between his legs, and he never looked back. And 37 years later, he gets an invitation to his class reunion, and he said to his wife, I think this is an error. I shouldn't have gotten this.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, no, they were looking for you. They called me. I want you to go. I want you to get this monkey off your back. This is your biggest regret. Go down there. So he went down there really to apologize to his fellow teammates. And one thing led to another, and he found out he was eligible to play his senior year. And, if you know Mike, you understand, but you have to see this movie.
I remember that story. I absolutely remember it because
the guy he got it in his head.
Yeah.
If I go and I make this team somehow, maybe I can help with these kids that I don't even know yet, and be a mentor to them. And it really is a great redemption tale, a great underdog story, and there's wonderful laughs in the movie, wonderful drama in the movie, and it just makes you laugh and cry and then leave the theater feeling good. So I highly recommend taking your family, your whole family, and a group of friends and going, because it's a communal experience.
Yeah.
It's good to see it in the theater because you end up yelling at the screen, you end up applauding.
Yeah. Listen, as a former Division I athlete, I still have 1 year of eligibility left. I might go back and play baseball for 1 year. Michael Chiklis, The Senior, in theaters everywhere. Michael, thank you so much for your time. News, weather, and traffic in 2. It's the Mark Arum Show, WSB.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At Jape Services, family isn't just a slogan, it's how we do business. Our family has been helping homeowners with their heating and cooling since 1978.
And now, we're riding along just like our dad did when he was 14.
And today, we're here to help your family stay cool and comfortable. If your AC is struggling, call Jape Services for honest pricing, expert heating and cooling repair, or replacement.
Decades of experience, family-run values, service you can trust.
Let our family take care of your family.
Jape Services.
Join renowned astrophysicist Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson for This Just In, latest discoveries in the universe, at the Fox Theater Sunday, October 5th at 4 p.m. The title says it all. Join Neil deGrasse Tyson as he explores discoveries from the past 2 or 3 years of cosmic research, with topics handpicked for their impact on science and the public's fascination with this ever-moving frontier. Don't miss This Just In, latest discoveries in the universe, with Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, Sunday, October 5th. Tickets available at foxtheater.org.
That nagging joint pain, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Sometimes it's an old injury that just never healed right. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long. But that stops right now. I'm Mark Airman. QC Kinetics is here to flip that script. They use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints, not cover it up, not cut it out, actually helping heal and restore. And the results, long-term, lasting relief. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Bring your MRIs, your X-rays, and they'll make sure you're a good candidate. Your first consultation, it's free, friends, so there's no reason to wait. Call QC Kinetics, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Decatur, Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, and Douglasville. Appointments available on Saturday. 770-285-8026.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. It's another steady month when it comes to the job market here in Metro Atlanta.
The state labor department says Metro Atlanta's unemployment rate holds at 3.5%, but still down from 3.9% a year ago. Jobs in local government see big gains, up 7,400 from the month prior. Other big winners include healthcare and social assistance, private educational services, and state government. Jobs in the arts, entertainment, and recreation sector see the largest drop, down about 3,000. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
I hope you grabbed the rain gear. You might need it today. Cloudy, on and off rain showers, and a few thunderstorms possible, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Afternoon high around 81. A man was shot and killed this morning in Roswell. This was at the Rosemont apartment complex on Rosemont Parkway. It happened around 8:30. Police say this was an isolated domestic incident. A suspect is in custody. No names have been released. In Cobb County, police arrest a suspect after a baby is shot and killed at a hotel near Truist Park. Cobb police arrest 22-year-old Ladarius Brown, charging him with aggravated assault and felony murder for the death of that 9-month-old little girl. The girl's mom called 911 to report the shooting. Police say the baby died at the scene. Another suspect also arrested for tampering with evidence. Police say more arrests could also happen. Closing arguments at the Fulton County trial, where an alleged gang member is charged with murder in the July 2020 death of an 8-year-old Sequoia Turner. Julian Conley's defense called one witness, a woman who says men in black shot at the Jeep that night, not Conley.
And I'm so sorry for her loss. That was not what we was out there for, and that wasn't supposed to happen.
Prosecutors pointed out that the woman was looking at a second barricade up the street from where Conley was standing, and muzzle flashes were also seen. The defense says her description does not fit Conley, who was wearing a red shirt that night. Israel continuing its offensive in Gaza, killing 17 Palestinians, according to the Hamas-run health agency. Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza continues as international support grows now for the creation of a Palestinian state. And the head of the United Nations, international aid groups, and key U.S. allies in Europe and elsewhere urging Israel to end the war that started after that October 7th terror attack. In a rare update, Webster's is adding 5,000 words to its collegiate dictionary.
This 12th edition is the first update of the hard copy book in 22 years. The new words include
doom scroll, dash cam, adulting, side eye,
and
dumb phone.
A cell phone that doesn't include advanced features like email or an internet browser. The new dictionary weighs in at 5 pounds. Merriam-Webster says it still sells 1.5 million copies a year. It says some people just love books.
Michael Wallace says the new version will be released on November 18th. Let's check your money. We're in the red this morning. The Dow's down slightly. NASDAQ in negative territory, down more than 0.5%. The S&P's down almost 0.5%. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Right now, watching that slow zone yet again today. 75 northbound between Marietta and Kennesaw. It's right lane construction. For now, while the pavement's dry, up at Chastain Road exit 271, you slow back at North Marietta Parkway if you'd like. You can use Highway 41 Cobb Parkway. Elsewhere downtown, just tapping the brakes. 7585 southbound 17th Street down at North Avenue, as well as northbound a little sluggish. 7585 from University Avenue up to Peachtree Pine Street. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today with scattered rain showers and a few thunderstorms, high 81. Scattered rain showers continue for tonight, lows in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, rain and thunderstorms moving through, high 79. Drying out on Saturday with highs in the low 80s.
It is 75 degrees right now in Marietta, 76 in Norcross. Brazelton has 74 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'll run this town to be near you.
11:04 on this extremely busy news day Thursday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Coming up in 30 minutes, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Andrea Bocelli. 1 hour from now, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for you to $1,000 here on WSB, just like Will in Clayton, Georgia did in the 10 o'clock hour. Congrats, Will. Put that $1,000 to good use. You, dear listener, have a chance to win $1,000 in 1 hour. Following a couple of big breaking news stories, the ICE shooting down in Texas. We've got President Trump calling a triple sabotage at the United Nations before, during, and after his speech. We'll update those stories in just a second. But I want to go back to D.C. as this government shutdown looms. September 30th is the date. Covering the story for Bloomberg News. Joining us live on the Mark Aram Show, it's John Harney. John, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Hello, Mark. How are you?
I'm nervous in Atlanta. What do the folks on Capitol Hill think? Are we going to see a government shutdown?
Well, it's looking more and more likely with less than a week to go before a deadline. And, of course, even if an agreement were reached immediately, it would still take time for the whole process to be completed. So time is of the essence here. I mean, this threat from the Office of Management and Budget, the White House Office of Management and Budget, certainly heightens the anxieties in Atlanta, as you said, and in the Washington area, where the federal government and the jobs and contracts it provides have, for generations, been a bulwark of the economy. But everything. This was sort of, if you will, political trench warfare between Democrats in Congress and President Trump and his allies in the Senate and House. This gives everyone less room to maneuver.
Yeah, just to update the scorecard for the listeners here. So, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson narrowly got this approved, and it's kicked to the Senate. Democrats want some concessions, so there'd be some negotiating. Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer said they would meet with the president to work on it. He said he didn't want to meet with them. And, in fact, if they don't pass this, that there will be mass firings if there's a government shutdown, which is, the big headline right now.
That's correct. It would. I mean, normally during a shutdown, workers who are considered non-essential are furloughed and then brought back on the job when the shutdown's over. When some agreement is reached, they're brought back and paid. But now, as my colleagues Eric Wasson and Steve Dennis report, the administration could use this occasion to gut agencies that it does not support.
Yeah,
depending
kind
on
of like
how
a
aggressive,
Doge 2.0, if you would.
Yeah, and depending on how aggressive this move could be, it might involve hundreds of thousands of federal workers permanently losing their jobs.
Yeah, John, this comes on a morning where we got some really good economic news, a 1-2 punch, GDP growth and housing sales going up. With that rosier economic forecast, might that mute the president or the administration's thoughts on mass firings, not to slow down what it seems to be some good news in the economy?
Well, I mean, that's we don't know. We don't know, one, what the White House is actually planning to do here, and two, how much they can actually do, because as you know, in all the Doge cuts, there were many court cases which are still playing out. Some government workers who were laid off had been brought back, so there would certainly be litigation and moves by Democrats to blunt this. And Chuck Schumer has said, well, this, they were probably planning to do something like this anyway, so we should not be intimidated. So the Democrats, for now at least, are not inclined to go along with what's known as a simple or clean
CR
resolution.
Yeah. All right. John Harney, Bloomberg News. John, appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mark.
There you go. September 30th. John seems pessimistic that we will avoid a government shutdown. This just popping, the Epstein estate turning over more documents to the House committee. I'm going to check on that. I do want to update, Deborah, what we were talking about with the triple sabotage. In case you missed it, the Trump administration saying there was triple sabotage at the United Nations. There was this elevator incident where the elevator stopped while he and the First Lady were on that going up to the General Assembly. Then he went to the podium to address the leaders of the world, and the teleprompter was broken. And then apparently there were some speaker issues inside the General Assembly where his speech was at a softer level than other speakers prior and after him. Let's go to Betsy Klein at the White House with the latest on this sabotage.
Seem like petty grievances by President Donald Trump, but it really underscores his broader complaints about the United Nations and its capacity to solve some of the world's most intractable conflicts. We've seen President Trump reimagine the role of the U.S. in the world and its alliances. And earlier this week, as he addressed the United Nations, he questioned the role of that body. What is its purpose? He said that very often they send strongly worded letters, but there's not much follow-up. And more than 24 hours after that speech, the technical difficulties still top of the president's mind. He wrote and laid all of them out in a very lengthy post to social media that read in part, quote, "First, the escalator. It's amazing that Melania and I didn't fall forward onto the sharp edges of these steel steps face first. This was absolutely sabotage," he says, pointing to a story in Monday's London Times that said the UN workers had joked about turning off that escalator. Then he says, "As I stood before a television crowd of millions of people all over the world and important leaders in the hall, my teleprompter didn't work. It was stone cold dark. I was told that the sound was completely off in the auditorium where the speech was made, that world leaders couldn't hear a thing." The president going on to say this wasn't a coincidence. This was triple sabotage at the UN. The president then demanding a complete investigation. He says that the Secret Service is involved. And we've heard from the United Nations seeking to show the Trump administration they're taking this seriously. They say there will be an internal investigation and the results will be transparent.
The UN replied saying they will investigate and will cooperate in any investigation that President Trump wants to put forward on this triple sabotage at the United Nations. Speaking of President Trump, he is hosting the Turkish President Erdogan today at the White House.
On Truth Social, the president said the two leaders are, quote, working on many trade and military deals, including the large-scale purchase of Boeing aircraft, a major F-16 deal, and a continuation of the F-35 talks. The visit comes on the heels of the UN General Assembly, where Mr. Trump met with Arab leaders on the sidelines. Erdogan was among them and told reporters he was pleased with the outcome, calling the meeting very fruitful. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
And apparently the Turkish president is there now if the two leaders, and fingers crossed, Deborah, that they have a press conference, because I'd love, Erdogan is kind of like the Turkish Trump. I would love to hear a press conference and maybe dip into that at some point. Usually before, they meet in the Oval and they have that gaggle and they answer questions, like when they had that big Zelensky blow up, where they didn't even get to the meeting. But President Trump likes to have a gaggle before the meeting. So hopefully if that happens before noon, we will bring it to you here. All right, unrelated to politics, but unless politics drive you to drink, I know a lot of folks are drinking more because of the political atmosphere now. Apparently there is a link between alcohol and dementia, which is one of my big fears as I get older.
Yeah, so University of Oxford found that consuming any amount of alcohol increases dementia risk. They did this study with over 500,000 people for about 12 years, so they tracked them for quite a while. And of those, 14,000 of them developed some type of dementia. So for every 1 to 3 additional drinks you have per week, it increases your risk of dementia by 15%.
All right, so any drinking can
any drinking can,
but the more you drink, the better the odds are you will have dementia. I am drinking less now than I did when I was 17, which is pretty crazy. I don't know. It's not that I don't know. I just don't have the lifestyle for it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of folks will have a drink when they get off work, like a cocktail. Oh, I'm gonna have a cocktail. I get off work at noon. If I have a cocktail after work, that's a problem, right? Isn't it?
That is. Yeah.
You're drinking. If I'm drinking at 12:30 p.m., that's. I don't know. It's become a non-factor in my life, which is sad because, well, not sad. I'm fine. I mean, if I wanted to drink, I would. But people give me bottles to drink all the time. So I've got this fully stocked bar, and I'm like, I have. Does it make you uncomfortable, Longoria? Do you have an issue? Do you have a problem?
No.
You're drinking too much?
I'm not drinking too much at all. I don't remember the last time I had a drink. It's been 2 months probably.
Yeah,
I drank more in my 20s and my teens than I do now.
Deborah?
Yeah, I don't even.
Are you drinking more or less than young Deborah?
I mean, I'm more of a social drinker than anything.
Yeah.
I rarely just go home and have a drink. I have a split shift, so it's hard to drink in between shifts.
Yeah,
too.
don't do that. Don't do that. I'll drink. Maya likes wine, and so she'll be like, "Have a glass of wine with me." That's the only time I really drink is when, not to throw her under the bus.
It's such a lush.
But anyway, but anyway, drinking and dementia. There is a link there. What's crazy though is that that any alcohol, like any amount of can increase your likelihood of dementia, which scares the bejesus out of me. I'm fearful of dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's and all the brain related stuff. So, all right, I guess I'm going to keep teetotaling, Deborah. I'm not going to do it. This is sad news. A beloved sci-fi star suffers a scare.
I must fight to remember that this is an intelligent, highly advanced individual.
94-year-old Star Trek actor William Shatner was reportedly rushed to a hospital in Southern California for a medical emergency. TMZ says Shatner, who played Captain Kirk on the show, suffered a problem with his blood sugar at his home in L.A. and called EMS himself as a precaution. The outlet says Shatner feels good and he's resting comfortably. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
It's amazing that he's still alive. He's 90-something?
Mm-hmm.
Captain Kirk's 90. I think he's the last remaining original OG Star Trek Trekkie to still be with us. I think Uhura died recently, and now he's the last man standing. And he went to space. And he was,
for real.
And he was T.J. Hooker.
Yeah, he was. I remember that show.
All right, so get well soon to William Shatner. All right, when we come back, we're going to update our top local stories. Right now, though, we got to check those construction delays on 75 up Kennesaw Way. Let's say hello and good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Yeah, there's no rain right now, so the guys are out there working hard in the right lane. 75 northbound, Chastain Road exit 271, and it has caused a slow ride back to Highway 5, the Canton Road connector in Marietta. If you'd like, you can always use Highway 41 Cobb Parkway as an alternate. Elsewhere, if you are traveling on the south side, 75 southbound, tapping the brakes in Stockbridge from 675 down to Hudson Bridge Road. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Save on organic best of season produce at Whole Foods Market. Get organic Honeycrisp apples for $3.49 per pound with Prime through September 30th while supplies last. Shop in store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000.
$1,000 on WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 12 p.m.
That is awesome.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
At Kroger Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans. No appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-Ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. Mm-hmm. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Summer might officially be ending, but the savings on a new AC unit just beginning. Hey, friends, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at Reliable. Check this amazing end-of-season savings deal. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, and 24/7 customer service. 24/7. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com. Click on the Book Now button or call or text 770-594-9969.
You're building a deck or adding a room, that's wonderful. But if you skip hiring an architect trying to save money, well, the builder's going to need drawings anyway. They're going to hire an architect regardless and mark up their fees to you. That's why it's smarter to start your project at Sketchhouse. Hi, I'm Richard Taylor, architect at Sketchhouse. At Sketchhouse, we'll make sure your plans are code and zoning compliant, they'll be creative, and they will look great. You're going to save thousands of dollars with Sketchhouse Architects. We're going to make this easy for you. Go to sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, H-A-U-S, sketchhouse.com.
Hey, skip the hassles of traditional home sales and sell your home quickly with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Now, there's no showings, no open houses, and that means no stress for you. Hey, your friend Sean Hannity here. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can skip the stress, make the most money, and close in as little as 21 days. Just go to markspain.com, get your guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com, and start packing.
Fly ball to right field, number
60! 60th home run hit yesterday by Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners. That's Root Sports Northwest with the call. I don't know how big of a baseball fan you are, but 60 home runs in a season is historic. Now, here's why I bring up the story, Deborah. So Cal Raleigh, catcher, the greatest season ever by a catcher. He just hit his 60th home run. He's broken Mickey Mantle's record for most home runs in a season by a switch hitter. He broke Javi Lopez, a former Braves player, most home runs in a season as a catcher. I mean, this is a legendary season. So 60th, that's like a magic number for home runs. Not many people have ever gotten a 60th. So he hits his 60th home run yesterday into the outfield stands. He had 2 home runs in the game, 59 and 60. Guy catches the ball. Now, I've never caught a home run ball or a foul ball. I've been to thousands of baseball games. It's never happened to me. But if it does, most likely I would take the ball and look for a child near me to give the ball to, right? I don't need this ball. Like, this will make this kid's. So this guy that caught the 60th home run ball did that, gave the ball to a kid sitting next to him, not knowing the importance of that 60th home run ball. Early estimates say that ball is at least worth $100,000.
Wow.
Because it's such a historic home run, like his 60th home run. Like 59th, all right, it's cool, but the 60th, like they're saying that the guy just gave this kid $100,000, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for him.
Yeah.
But
you have karma coming his way.
You have to be. And one guy, Mike Trout. One more baseball story. Mike Trout, MVP, Los Angeles Angels, face of the game for a decade. He hit his 400th ball, and the guy that caught it. Usually, you can hold a historic ball like that for ransom. Like, I want season tickets, or I want a signed jersey and a signed bat. The guy that caught the ball, do you know who he asked for, Longoria? Not money, not gear.
What?
He's like, I'll give him the ball. I just want to have catch with him. I want to play catch with him.
Wow, that's cool.
Good.
Right?
That's
so
great.
the video,
You can't say no to that.
yeah, and so there's video after the game. They brought him down, and he's just having a catch.
That is cool.
And the guy was like in his 30s. Like it was, and he was just, that was like, what an amazing request. And then Mike Trout hooked him up anyway. Gave him, but a lot of people would be like, no, I'm going to sell this at auction. But Mike Trout was his 400th home run. It was a big deal. And he just wanted to have a catch. Now, I would have been a little upset if I was the guy. Not because of the request, but when he had a catch with Mike Trout, Trout didn't even use a glove. Like, he was just catching the ball barehanded.
He didn't even think he was going to throw anything?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
whatever,
maybe
dude.
the guy wasn't a Division I athlete.
No,
like
but
you.
still, I'd be like, put a glove on, Trout. I'm not a
ham it up
40-year-old.
a little bit.
Yeah, like this. Let's have a legitimate catch, not just you catching it barehanded. But I thought really two cool stories there when it comes to historic baseball stuff. All right, starting to get new developments now in the investigation of that breaking news we had on the show yesterday, the fatal shooting at the ICE facility in Dallas. So we're going to see what the FBI just said about that. When we come back, Deborah's got tickets to give away. And we got some new polling. We got a couple of massive political races brewing here in the state of Georgia. Senate race, governor's race. New internal polling released from the Democrats on who's leading in their charge to the primary. Greg Bluestein from the AEJC will have those numbers for us next. Social media is active throughout the broadcast at Mark Ehrman at WSB Radio.
If you've ever organized your closet only to have it look like a bomb went off in there 1 month later, then it's time to call Artisan Custom Closets. Reach-in closets, walk-in closets, pantry spaces, garages. With a custom spacious closet from Artisan, you'll never have to deal with all that clutter again. All your stuff neatly organized and designed to stay that way. Call the Closet Bomb Squad, Artisan Custom Closets. They'll diffuse your clutter and make it safe to enter your closet again. ArtisanCustomClosets.com.
Do you have an unused vehicle sitting in your driveway? Imagine turning it into a new beginning. When you donate your car, truck, or van to Tommy Nobis Center, you're helping people with disabilities get the training and support they need to enter the workforce and build successful careers. Your vehicle donation fuels real change, giving people a chance to achieve independence and purpose. And it's easy. We'll handle everything from pickup to paperwork. Plus, it's tax deductible. Donate today at TommyNobisCenter.org. Make a difference, one vehicle at a time.
Selling and buying a home doesn't have to be a juggling act. With Orchard, you get cash up front to buy your next place, then more cash when your old home sells. Start with a free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
Another accident? What happened?
Our truck driver got cut off, and they're getting blamed. No witnesses, no proof, and insurance is skyrocketing.
Wait, our drivers shouldn't take the blame for this?
Exactly why we need Samsara. Their AI dashcam show real-time video proving when our drivers aren't at fault.
So we protect our drivers and avoid false claims?
Yep. Companies using Samsara have exonerated their drivers and saved millions on insurance.
Protect your drivers and your bottom line at Samsara.com. Samsara. Operates smarter.
You've heard about the thousands of patients finally getting relief from chronic joint pain thanks to QC Kinetics non-invasive treatments. And here's one who was determined to avoid surgery. Meet Vicky.
The orthopedic surgeon said, well, you're going to need knee replacement sooner rather than later. I kept hearing commercials about QC Kinetics and thought, well, I'm going to check them out first.
QC Kinetics has treated over 20,000 patients like Vicky around the country. People who were told they needed surgery but chose a more natural, less invasive approach that uses regenerative treatments to help heal and restore painful joints with no downtime.
If QC Kinetics had not been what I expected, I would have gone through with the surgery, but I got so much relief, am now pretty much pain-free that I don't have to have the surgery.
Before going under the knife, you need to check out QC Kinetics. The consultation is free. Call today.
Call QC Kinetics, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. 770-285-8026.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there. Good morning. It is 11:30. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. Happening right now. Closing arguments are underway at the trial for Julian Connolly, the man accused of fatally shooting 8-year-old Sequoia Turner near the burned-down Wendy's where Rayshard Brooks was killed weeks earlier back in 2020. This woman from Atlanta, who asked that her face and name be kept private, was the defense's witness.
Because she was somebody, and she wasn't supposed to die that night. We were down there protesting for black people, saying our lives matter, and a black child life was taken, and that wasn't supposed to happen.
WSB's Veronica Waters covering the trial. Check back for updates. Your weather for today. On and off rain showers. A few thunderstorms are possible and a high of 81, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Atlanta's Hometown Airline making some changes to its Airbus jets to stop toxic fumes from leaking into the cabin. Michael Wallace has more on the move by Delta.
Last week, the Wall Street Journal reported about thousands of cases where fumes from an Airbus jet's engines have given passengers and crew concussion-like brain injuries. Dr. Robert Harrison has treated more than 100 flight crew members.
And it gets into their brain and can affect the other parts of the nervous system.
Now, the journal reports Delta is replacing the auxiliary power units in the tails of its Airbus jets. Those units can pump the toxic air into the cabin when the plane's two main engines aren't running. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The Department of Homeland Security says it's tightening security at ICE facilities across the country following yesterday's shooting at a field office in Dallas, Texas. Priscilla Thompson says investigators believe the gunman was targeting law enforcement.
Photos released by DHS also show bullet holes in a window and an American flag inside the facility. Multiple senior law enforcement officials identifying the suspected shooter as 29-year-old Joshua Jan.
FBI Director Kash Patel posting a picture on X of shell casings engraved with the phrase anti-ICE. They were found at the scene. Jobless claims have tumbled to well below what was expected this week.
That's a really good sign. What does that tell you? It means we're not seeing mass layoffs from employers like a lot of people have feared.
Kelly O'Grady says the nation's economy grew at 3.8% in the second quarter, stronger than previously reported. While we're talking about jobs, Starbucks plans to close underperforming locations and cut some 900 jobs amid a major restructuring plan. The cuts are in the company's support teams. Many open positions will also be closed now. About 400 stores will be closing in all, accounting for about 1% of the more than 18,000 North American locations. The list of the closings, though, has not yet been made public. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's down 123 at 45,997. NASDAQ is down more than 0.5%. So is the S&P. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at your roads.
Hey, Sabrina, still watching that slow ride out of Marietta into Kennesaw on 75 northbound. They are still doing that right lane construction. I believe it's tree trimming between Chastain Road and Wade Green Road, exits 271 and 273. That's why you're seeing the slow traffic back into Marietta. Highway 41 Cobb Parkway will get you around that. Over on the West Freeway, 20 eastbound, the right lanes are slowing from Fulton Industrial Boulevard over to I-285, the west side perimeter. And downtown, still seeing some volume. Not awful, though. 75-85 northbound, scattered brake lights between University Avenue and Freedom Parkway. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and a few rumbles of thunder today. High 81. Rain showers continue for tonight with lows in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, rain and thunderstorms rolling through. High 79. Drying out on Saturday with partly cloudy skies. High 83.
It is 76 degrees right now in Kennesaw, Sugar Hill, and Alpharetta. We'll have more news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
WSB is your home of the dog. Lobs it up, caught by Humphrey. Tune in Saturday as number 5 Georgia faces off with the 17th ranked Crimson Tide.
30, 20, far sideline, 10.
Bulldogs pregame begins at 3:30.
Sideline.
Kickoff at 7:30.
Pylon.
Only on your home of the dogs, 95.5 WSB.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Brought to you in part by Hoffman Financial Group, official partner of the Georgia Bulldogs.
I consider myself informed, and I vote and participate in the community and stuff, but I had no idea that something like this could happen this close.
That's Sherry Gates, a witness to one of the ICE facility shooting in Dallas. We'll update that story. Deborah's got tickets to give away and new polling numbers here in Georgia. All of that straight ahead on the Mark Arum Show.
That was thousands of miles being added to your private radio network. With Southern Link, connect your private LMR radio system to Critical Link, our mission-critical LTE network, so you can communicate more easily with more people when the situation demands. Call 1-800-818-LINC or visit southernlink.com to learn more about our interworking solutions, mission-critical push-to-talk, and LTE voice and data services. Southern Link, pushing the limits of what's possible.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
Starting a business takes grit and fortitude, but to keep it going requires taking care of customers like family. That's our motto, and my family's been sticking to it for decades. Hi, this is Daniel Jape, and you can count on Jape Services to provide quality care and price transparency for your home's heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. At Jape Services, we're a family-run business, and I personally guarantee to treat you like family as well. JapeServices.com.
Jape Services. Imagine pulling up the driveway to your beautiful new garage door, energy-efficient windows, and stunning double front door. It feels like a new home, but you didn't have to move. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows, with lots of exciting ways to refresh your home. For every opening of your home, we've got you covered, with countless quality options backed by unparalleled service and craftsmanship. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. 11:37 on the Mark Arum Show. Welcome back, friends. 30 minutes from right now. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 on WSB, just like Will in Clayton, Georgia did in the 10 o'clock hour. But, Deborah, we don't have to wait 30 minutes to give something away. Another amazing prize pack, my friend.
Yep, pair of tickets to see Andrea Bocelli at Gas South Arena on October 11th.
Let's do the 11th caller to Vinny Drip. 11th caller to 404-872-0750. 11th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Andrea Bocelli, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show at 95.5 WSB. Before we get to Greg Bluestein with some new political numbers, I've been mentioning throughout the broadcast that the Turkish President Erdogan visiting with President Trump at the White House. I believe they are now meeting face-to-face. How important is this meeting, Elena Treen, at the White House?
Well, it is significant that he is coming to the White House, Wolf. This is actually Erdogan's first visit to the White House since 2019. And I'd remind you, we've heard the president refer to his relationship with the Turkish president as something that is, quote, a very good relationship stemming from his time working with Erdogan back during his first term. And that's despite knowing, of course, that the U.S.-Turkey relationship has long been very complicated. But the talks come, as you mentioned, as the president is suggesting that he may be open to lifting the government's pause on sales of advanced fighter jets to Turkey. This is something we know that Erdogan has been pushing for. Now, just a quick reminder on why this is such a big deal today. During the president's first term, the United States had kicked out Turkey, a NATO ally, from its flagship F-35 fighter jet program. That was after Turkey had begun purchasing an air defense system from Russia. Essentially, there was concerns that they could be sharing data on the F-35s with Russia. But as you just read from the president's statement last week, he seems to be now shifting toward a potential lift on that hold. Now, I do want you to as well listen to what we've heard from Secretary of State Marco Rubio as it relates to the relationship with Turkey more broadly.
All these other countries, including Turkey, by the way, are begging us to be involved. They want us to be involved. Look, these people go out and say what they want to say, but at the end of the day, when they want something done, they want to come to the White House. President Erdogan is coming to the White House this week to meet with the president.
So what you heard from Rubio there, well, kind of echoes what we've also heard from the president, that he plans to have wide-ranging talks as it comes to the military and diplomacy with Turkey. We are expected to see President Erdogan arrive shortly, and hopefully they're going to have a bilateral meeting and a lunch. Hopefully, like usual, when foreign leaders come to visit the White House, that bilateral meeting in the Oval Office will open for a bit so that reporters have a chance to ask some questions.
Yeah, let's hope. That's Elaine Treen minutes ago at the White House. I should also note, Turkey, a NATO member, I believe one of just 2 NATO members that are still buying Russian oil. We'll see if President Trump puts, I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure Turkey is still buying Russian Federation oil. We'll see if President Trump puts any pressure on him to stop that so they can get some more sanctions in. But a big day today at the White House. We'll update you live throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. All right, joining us on the show from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, our good friend Greg Bluestein. Internal polling numbers, so you just take them with a grain of salt, but released by the Keisha Lance Bottoms campaign in regards to the run for the Democratic nomination for governor. Sounds like all apples and honey right now for the Bottoms campaign, Greg.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, you should always take these internal polls with a grain of salt because they're coming from the campaigns, and they have no reason to promote them if they weren't good news. But at the same time, this comes from a respected pollster, and it kind of lines up with what other candidates and campaigns are thinking, which is Keisha Lance Bottoms, the former Atlanta mayor, has a leg up early in this race. She's kind of about 38% in this poll right now, in this internal poll done by Public Policy Polling. That is higher than all the other named candidates combined, way above Democratic former DeKalb CEO Michael Thurmond and former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, the Republican turned Democrat who just got in the race, and former State Senator Jason Estevez. It's very early, but it shows kind of that Keisha Lance Bottoms is in the pole position right now.
Yeah, for the listeners, so this is a poll of 620 likely Democratic primary voters. Keisha Lance Bottoms leading the field with 38%. Former DeKalb CEO Michael Thurmond, 12%. Former Republican Lieutenant Governor, now Democrat, Jeff Duncan at 9%. And former State Senator Jason Estevez at 4%. A couple of these numbers shocked me. I was shocked that Bottoms led by that amount, even with the name recognition that she had. And I was kind of shocked that Jason Estevez is bringing up the rear, 4%.
Yeah, he got in early to try to gain some traction, try to raise a lot of money. He still hasn't spent a lot of that money right now. He has a real campaign going. So, he's been out there trying to work the crowds, build a network, has a lot of endorsements already. But there's still a lot of folks who just, especially outside of Atlanta, who don't know who he is. He's got time to change that. But this race has gotten a lot more crowded just in the last 2 weeks. And, you look on the Republican side, Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, he got in. Of course, Jeff Duncan, you just mentioned, got in. We could see some more candidates get in the coming days. So it's going to be harder to get attention.
Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Candidates that might be on the outside looking in may jump into the race. Obviously, Stacey Abrams' name has been floated out there for months. But in your reporting on AJC.com, I didn't have this on my radar. State Rep Ruha Rahman, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, Ruha Rahman, yeah.
Of Duluth, she might be expected to enter the race. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, she recently wrote a column for the AJC kind of saying how Georgia needs a candidate who's more progressive, who could almost be like Mamdani, the New York Democratic mayoral candidate, who has kind of ignited the progressive left, but also alienated a lot of folks in the middle of the electorate and, of course, on the right of the electorate. She could kind of present herself as the populist, left-leaning candidate. She thinks that, and she said this as much in her column, she thinks that some of the Democratic candidates already in the race aren't representing that sort of left flank. And I'm kind of thinking, Michael Thurmond, who, of course, is a longtime Democratic office holder, proud Democrat, but he's running more of a centrist campaign right now. He's kind of taking some ideas from Donald Trump even.
Yeah, and I would say probably the same goes for Jeff Duncan, more toward the center of the party. If she does enter, if the state rep does enter, she would probably be the most left-leaning candidate thus far.
Yeah, at least one with prominence, right, with political background, who folks might know her name. She would face the same struggles that Jason Estevez would, though. She's running against folks who have statewide name recognition, and not just Mayor Bottoms, but Jeff Duncan, as he gets his campaign out there, he'll get more attention. And, of course, Michael Thurmond has won statewide races before as labor commissioner, and he's won multiple times in DeKalb County, which is the most important Democratic stronghold in Georgia. So there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lane for everyone, it seems.
And again, this is a poll released, an internal campaign poll, but as you mentioned, Greg, from a legitimate polling outfit. But the Bottoms number was higher than I expected, simply because, and I think maybe this is just the shadow of being in the metro Atlanta area, leaving office, not running for re-election, going to work for a controversial Biden administration. As we look back on it now, what was his cognitive abilities? I thought that might drag her poll numbers down here in Georgia.
Yeah, it's your classic double-edged sword, right? To a lot of voters, it does. It's a negative. The fact that she decided not to run for a second term. There was a very tumultuous first term in 2020 with the pandemic, with the protests for social justice. All that went along with that. At the same time, it gave her incredibly high name recognition. She went toe-to-toe with Governor Kemp, throughout her term. It was all over CNN as a paid contributor, a paid analyst for a while. And then, of course, she wasn't just part of President Biden's administration. I feel like she was part of his inner circle. She was one of his most trusted advisors. So that comes with its benefits and its negatives.
Final question for you, Greg. When are we going to see real polls, AJC polls, UGA polls, that kind of stuff? When do those start coming out?
Yeah, within a few weeks. We're going to be out in the field shortly, and so I know that the AJC will have a UGA poll, hopefully within a few weeks. But I think you're going to see the polling industry kind of ramp up because, not just in Georgia, but we have one of the most interesting elections in the nation.
Yeah. Greg Bluestein, invaluable resource from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Hey, congrats to Barb in Roswell. I'm assuming she wanted to go by Barb, Vin, and not Barbara. Okay, Vinny's nodding. Yes. Barb in Roswell won a pair of tickets to see Andrea Bocelli. You, dear listener, are going to get another chance to win $1,000. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz just right after the new news here on 95.5 WSB. Right now, though, got to back to those construction slowdowns on I-75 Cobb County. Live with the latest, Alex Williams.
Yeah, the few and the mighty that are out there doing the road work today. This is the lone work zone we have in Kennesaw, Mark. 75 northbound at Chastain Road, exit 271. It's in the right lane, slowing the ride out of Marietta. Highway 41, Cobb Parkway might save you a few minutes of time there. On the south side, still tapping the brake pedal, 75 south in Stockbridge from 675 to Hudson Bridge Road. And downtown, a little sluggish with some merging madness, 75-85 northbound, getting past I-20 up to Freedom Parkway. Traffic brought to you by YRefi.com. Is private student loan debt ruining your life? It doesn't have to. Just go to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com and get your life back. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
The FAA says the flight crew was reporting possible smoke in the flight deck.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
Beef prices are going up.
Your 24/7 news source.
They had no ties to a gang, but they were killed by them.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, host of Inside Georgia Real Estate, right here on 95.5 WSB. If you listen to my show each Saturday, we cover Atlanta's housing market and all things real estate related. So, whether you're buying your dream home or selling your current one, hiring the right agent is essential. The Agency Atlanta is the iconic brokerage that is revolutionizing real estate worldwide. We pair global resources with decades of hyper-local Atlanta market expertise to deliver results. If you're selling your home, we'll help you showcase your property and maximize your return. If you're buying, we'll guide you through every step to secure the perfect home for your lifestyle. Either way, we would love to earn the privilege of being your agent. So, if you're looking for that perfect Buckhead bungalow, that Alpharetta estate, an in-town condo, or suburban bliss, visit InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com today to connect with us at the Agency Atlanta. That's InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Hi, I'm Dallas, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. You know she loves her Shane Company engagement ring, but you also want to surprise her for her birthday, anniversary, or just because she deserves it. Why not get her a bigger diamond with our Easy Trade-Up program? We'll give you the full credit of your original natural diamond purchase toward a new one. Her new diamond only has to be $1 more. You only pay the difference. How's that for an easy trade-up? Visit us in-store or at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
You didn't choose to get in a wreck, but you can choose the best attorney to fight for you. Trust the guys I trust, the strong arm, John Foy & Associates. Hey, it's Smilin' Mark McKay. With personal injury attorneys, you have a lot of choices. Here's some of the reasons why I choose the strong arm. They treat you with compassion and respect. Their customer service is exceptional. They listen, communicate, and are genuine good people that don't charge you until they win. If I got in a wreck, this would be my first call. JohnFoy.com.
This is Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. When you have plumbing problems, you need it done quickly and on your schedule. Superior Plumbing will work around your schedule night and day. They've served Atlanta for almost 40 years. They want to be your plumber for life, and they'll earn your trust by doing the work correctly the first time. So do what I did and call Superior Plumbing night or day to have a trusted plumber fix your plumbing issues.
Superior, the honest one. Call 770-4222.
It's happening, guys. Your hair's thinning, the crown's disappearing, hair loss might have you feeling you've lost your identity. It's Mark Arum here. Thankfully, there's Advanced Hair Simple One-Day Treatment. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's your own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. I've seen Advanced Hair's incredible results with my own eyes. Get your free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. Medishare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is
I gave a little rendition of the song, Deborah, to some KSU students that are in studio right now. You can watch them live on the WSB live stream. Hi, guys. Yes. 40. By the way, Deborah, none of them had heard of the musical Evita, which premiered which premiered 46 years ago today. That was Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, which appears at the opening and the end of the show. Speaking of Argentina, Deborah, they are in the news today, and not good economic news for our friends on the South Side.
The U.S. Treasury is going to provide Argentina with a $20 billion currency swap. Now, this was posted on on X, basically, and they're saying they're going to do whatever it takes to support Argentina. Washington is prepared to buy Argentina's dollar debt and extend their credit through the Exchange Stabilization Fund. They want to stabilize the peso down there, secure some debt payments, and reinsure all the investors that Argentina is good.
All right, so don't cry for me, Argentina, but maybe Argentina is going to cry unless they get their economic situation set up real quick. Let's go to the Oval Office for a second, dipping in President Trump taking questions with President of Turkey, Erdogan.
So they went from 2% to 5% of GDP, and that was something that nobody even would bring up. Biden should have brought it up a long time ago.
We'll monitor that press conference and the big meeting between the two world powers throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. So many world leaders have visited President Trump, waiting for the new South Korean president. This is a crazy story, Deborah. We talked about this in the past on the show, how tattoos have been illegal in South Korea. They used to be for gangsters and criminals. Now they're seen as a form of self-expression. Sherry Preston from ABC has how the rules for tattoos are changing in Korea.
Ink up South Korea. The parliament there has just passed a new bill that would allow for the first time people to give tattoos without having a medical license. It's the only country in the world with such a restriction. Tens of thousands of tattoo artists have been working underground in South Korea for decades. The Tattooist Act passed by a 195 to nothing vote. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Is that why you've never been to South Korea, Longoria? Because you got that full arm
that
sleeve?
is
You're
true.
Still
Yeah,
tatted up. Anyway.
You're safe in North Korea.
Yeah. Just go to North Korea,
let's go,
Longoria.
let's go.
You can watch. You can have tattoos. You just can't stream Netflix.
Right, there you go.
Quick correction, Deborah. I made a mistake. I am out of the running for star of the show. I said that Captain Kirk, what's his name?
Shatner.
Shatner was the last living member of Star Trek. George Takei was on the show last week or last month. He's still alive, too. So we still have two remaining Trekkies here on the broadcast.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right, it's your favorite day today. It's National Lobster Day, Mark.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, and you don't have to be 16 to eat them. Lobsters don't show signs of aging and are believed to be able to live for up to 100 years or more, constantly growing. And did you know their blood is blue? It's because that captures the copper in the and not iron in their blood like we have to make it red.
And they're also delicious. For the KSU students in the studio that have never heard this story before, I grew up in New England, which is lobster, and my mom flat out lied to me, and she told me when I was a kid that you had to be 16 years old to eat lobster. And I believed her because she's my mom, and, you had to be 21 to drink and eat this. So I was like, oh, all right, 16 eat lobster. So I would never... Not that she would ever pay for me to get a lobster in a restaurant or whatever. And I was 15 before I found out she was lying to me this whole time. I was on a baseball trip to Maine, and we stopped at like this little roadside shack, and my catcher on the baseball team ordered a lobster roll. And I'm like, dude, you're 15. What are you doing? He's like, what the hell are you talking about? I mean, you have to be 16 to eat lobster. He's like, you're nuts. And then I was like, oh, my goodness, my mom's been lying to me.
Are you guys ready for the Mark Aram star of the show?
All right, I'm going to give my mom for lying to me, a star of the show. Thanks, Mom. Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Joe Khalil from News Nation, Justin Gray live in studio from Channel 2. Travel expert Peter Greenberg, John Haley. He was a mess on Bloomberg. I'm not giving him a star of the show, Deborah. I will give one, though, to Michael Chiklis, the amazing actor, joined us live. Jim Ryan live in Texas on the ice shooting. He gets a star of the show. Big stuff tomorrow. Including political analyst Bill Crane. We're going to continue to go in depth on all things politics here in Georgia. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz right after the new news. Another chance for you to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB. I am active on social media throughout the day, more than I should be. Give me a follow at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay